All right, hey YouTube, what's going on out there? Everybody's doing good. So we're going to do a Thursday night chat here. I hope everybody's ready. This could get interesting. Let me see if I need to make an adjustment here. But I hope everybody's ready to kick it into the weekend. Go do something useful, if not fun. But the subject of the night is in the title. And we'll get into that, what that means here on your screen. I got a couple of links out, but I'm going to do the dissertation first. So who we got in here? We got M Long in here tonight. What's going on? Is it dried out there yet? Bug Out Bubba, what's going on? Angel R, good evening. LS is with us. Pops Quest, hey, how you doing? Well, thanks for staying up. Maybe we'll make it worth your while. Maybe we won't. You never know. Yeah, we don't sleep on the West Coast, right? Mr. Tommy Boy, what's going on? Good evening. LS, hit the thumbs up. There we go. Not little love, never hurt nobody. Saints and Sappers is with us. Get him a cocktail. Yes, it's all butterflies and rainbows. Hey, right on, Tommy Boy. Glad you got it. Cool. Thanks for confirming. And the mailman didn't walk away with it somewhere. All right. So unless, well, I guess some of us might live under a rock, but we try not to. That's why we're on the YouTube. But we had Project Veritas came out with a couple of videos the last couple of days of their infiltration of the deep state that they have been sharing on the YouTube the last couple of days. I don't know that it surprised any of us necessarily, and got a lot of people up in arms about the infiltration of the government and whatnot. The links are below. If you didn't see, I've got 3 videos linked down in the description box. But the Project Veritas videos are linked there, and you can check them out on your free time or right now or whenever. And I would recommend you check them out. I'm not going to be able to go through all of them. They're about over 30 minutes, all 3 of them together. What we got here? 13, yeah, 20, like 45 minutes total combined. So it's a lot of listening. But basically the gist of it, these folks followed around a couple of government employees. One of them works in the government accounting office, which is this gentleman on this video here. Just talking about their socialist ways and how they've infiltrated the government, and they do all these things to slow down the government and do push their agenda or whatever it might be. Really, the biggest point of it is that they're pushing back against the current administration, which I don't know that I necessarily care about that, but they are committing a lot of illegal activity. But it begs the question of how about we downsize the government so it's not able to have all these people in these positions that can be corrupted and do corrupt actions, et cetera, et cetera. Wouldn't that be a better state of affairs? We're never going to get control of this as things are. But apparently this gentleman already got removed from the General Accounting Office today as soon as this came out, or as soon as they looked at it, vetted it, and were like, oh, snap. Apparently he's already been removed, Mr. Subramani, who's, and all 3 of them are avowed members of the Democratic Socialist Party and whatnot. So he's already been removed apparently, and there's apparently a release by JO on all this and everything. But what effect does that have? But he explains a lot of interesting things in here, talking about various people and contacts he have and about how they all work together to subvert actions by the administration. But an avowed communist calls himself a communist right there on camera. It's pretty obvious he's trying to impress some chick, which is even funnier. Who would ever think that being a communist would get you chicks, somebody to hang out with? I never would have thought that, right? But all kinds of things talked about in there. And also there was another lady, Jessica Schubel, who's she now works for a lobbying agency, I believe, or some type of private agency, but she used to work in health and human services. So she's a touchy-feely type. She likes to hug babies and stuff, so she makes a good socialist. But she gets in here and she talks about similar things, about getting leaked info from insiders on how to slow roll, attack bills that go against their agenda and things like that. She talks about things like that, but she gets information and uses it for lobbying and political activities from people that are inside. Here she talks about a bill that was allowing states to require Medicaid beneficiaries to work in order to get coverage. They fought against that, et cetera, and they're getting all this advanced knowledge from all these leaks and infiltrators who are all avowed communists. So if you didn't see these, definitely take the time later tomorrow or something. Not right now, of course, because I want you to hang out here with us. But there's this other fellow here too. What was this guy's job? Let me double check. He's actually an older gentleman, and they're all part of the Democratic Socialist of America Club. Let me see. Stuart Carafa. He's a Department of State. And they talk about how they can't be fired and they are beyond, they're untouchable in a lot of ways and things like that. Hey, El Chavez has joined us. Good evening. Yeah, these are pretty good stuff by O'Keefe for sure. Something you'd never see the regular media do. That's for sure too. Yeah, and right in along, there's never just one. There's always multiple, and that's the thing about it. They're all interconnected through these groups. And I would almost bet that O'Keefe's got more info that he's going to bring out here about these people and about what they do. But what else did this gentleman say? Let me get... They talk about using government resources and stuff, but like he says here, he doesn't leave a paper trail, things like that. But this guy definitely seems the most nefarious. But they laugh about not being able to be fired and stuff. That's the biggest thing. It's like none of them are scared of any repercussions. And you got to figure that's because of the attitudes that they've been in these positions. And it's not just the last administration. This has been ongoing for decades. The socialists have been infiltrating the government since the 50s. McCarthy was right. That's what most people don't get. McCarthy was over the target. He was like 90% of the people on McCarthy's list were proven to be communists, members of the Communist Party, communist sympathizers, leaked to communists with information and stuff. And it's been ongoing since then. And people seem like they're surprised almost in some of these respects of this that, well, we need to prosecute these people. Prosecution's not going to solve the problem. Truth Freeze, how you doing this evening? We're being shown a lot of leaked info and alleged indictments. take it with a grain of salt. Some of it might be appeasement, right? Little token. They give up their token, sacrifice, and then, but the rest of them continue to operate, right? Because everybody knows that even the, your hardcore, our people are very much on the idea that the last 8 years has all been bad, but it's going to be good from here, and it was good before, and that it's we can right this ship. But how can you right the ship that doesn't have any rudder? It doesn't have any what's the word for it? Any way to limit the power? No regulation, no accelerator. It's all on one speed all the time. I mean, look at our national debt alone is not getting under control. No matter who's in charge, it is a rudderless runaway freight train. Is it not? Or is there any difference? I would say there's not. And that's kind of what the point of this title is with the things revealed today, and as you're talking to other people, I think a lot of you people are on board with the idea that this cannot be rectified. This government cannot be changed course and turned in the direction of right and back to constitutional principles. And we often try to figure out how we're going to get from there to here. A long time when I started this channel, I was very much a secessionist and about the only peaceful means to get away from these government issues, the problems with our government, is secession. That was one of my main points when we originally started up on here, and we did a lot of chats on that with Mule and everybody else. But obviously, state governments don't have the wherewithal or the attention. The state citizens of the states don't have the attention of their governments enough to do such a thing. So that leads you to the next thing. If there's not enough political will, then the thing has to collapse. It cannot be righted. Its direction cannot be changed. So the only thing we can do is hope that it collapses before it basically kills us all, Soviet Union, Lenin style, right? And so that led me to, I've been following this fella on Twitter who's been using the hashtag Collapsitarian for a long time. Go check him out. Give him some love. He's even got a website, which is linked below as well. But are you not a collapsitarian? I find myself to be more and more in the vein of I'm on the collapse train. There's no other option. It's not going to turn around. You can't stop it. You can't secede yourself from it because its overarching tentacles are everywhere. You can't escape it. You have to help it collapse, and build something after, or just survive after the fact. But this is his pinned tweet that kind of expands upon his feelings on what that is to be a collapsitarian. And it basically, there's no fixing what is broken. And I think that I find myself to be more and more in that boat. And I've always didn't think it was fixable. I always thought that you just secede, you remove yourself from it. But even at the individual level, how possible is that without severe repercussions? They don't let you just walk away from the big government. Between taxation and everything else, there is very little capability to do that. But of course, there's little things you can do. Obviously, you always want to don't contribute to the state as little as possible. Taxation is what it is, but anything you can do, we've talked about barter and things like that. But I find myself using that hashtag as a collapsitarian more and more. And I'll just ask the question of, are we all, or are you, or are people not collapsitarians, if not in name, at least in deed? It's just kind of a new term that means more than a lot of the other terms, I would say. All right, I'm going to check in here in the side chat. All right, links are out if anybody wants to jump in. I'm going to limit it here to begin with, but we'll expand it as the chat goes on, depending on who shows up. Let me go in here and see where I dropped off. We are, yeah, M. Long says we're at 104% debt to GDP. China is 300% debt to GDP. And the only way to affect that and prevent that from, there's no way to slow that down other than to oppress the people and suck all the labor out of them that you can. And basically indentured servitude and slavery, is it not? That's the only way you're getting around that. And you can't even get around it. So isn't praying for an economic collapse more preferable than going into the police state that we're currently headed towards? Really asking for things to collapse so that things don't get worse. I talked about in the video yesterday or today, this morning, about barking at out there, but talking about, the governments are the biggest fear is going into extreme rule of law, and the governments have killed more than any, other SHTF or natural disaster we've ever dealt with. Well, El Chavez, you can say DC isn't part of the United States, but they claim rule over the United States. So I think that's just the way it is. It's more about the action than it is about any sort of formal delineation. It's the rulers over the rest. Hey, Die Bullfrog, what's going on this evening? PQ? What's PQ? Die Bullfrog? I don't know what that means. I'm not that trendy, I guess. Pop's Quest says take away the fuel, and really the fuel is taxation, is it not? But how can you do that when you can't stop getting an income because inflation takes away all your earnings you earned last year and makes them worth less and less. Any savings you had buys less and less to be able to do the things you need to do to take away the fuel from the system too. Just depending on where you are in your status in life, but that makes it very difficult for the majority. Bug out Bubba, yes, since the 50s, but what can we down but prep for the outcome? Yes, prepping for the outcome is the ultimate thing I think that we would look at. But to also, like we've said, do the little things that you can to remove yourself from the system, which is, again, very difficult, though. Tony's making a movie with his wife. Okay, Angel, TMI sometimes. Some things are worth keeping to yourself. Truth Freeze, what do you mean 9/11 disclosure would be a good place to start what? Revealing to people the problems? Or what? We've tried revealing the disclosure of 9/11 to the people. How has that outcome changed anybody's mind? Has that really opened up people's eyes? Most people discount you as a kook. It's the MSN media's message is much greater than ours. Yeah, Chavez, I would agree that the Federal Reserve is the central banking is the ultimate center of a lot of the problems that have led us to this point. And we were talking in Modwayne's chat yesterday. They kept talking about also a lot of social ills and a lot of social problems, and I kept saying this is all economics. This leads back to just basically the Federal Reserve policy since it's been in existence has caused the road we've come down with the destruction of the family and the need for two income families, et cetera, et cetera. LS, I didn't know there was a word for it. Collapsitarian is a good term. I'm at least a Jesus comebacker. Okay, well, that's a fine one too, right? But I mean, I believe that there will be a second coming, but I also think that in a lot of respects, people are too American centric in their belief in when that is going to happen. I don't know that we're even close to that necessarily, even though there are certain tells out there. But it's like Bug Out Bubba says, you prepare for the worst and just be ready for it. But either way, you got to be ready for both outcomes, right? The collapse or the return of Jesus. Either one. Let's be ready. So I'm with you on that. Pop's Quest asks, if it collapses over 10 years, does that still mean collapse? That's an excellent question. And that's what I call the slow burn that we've talked about a lot. Is it not still a collapse? Is it not still part of the problem? If your great grandchildren are worse off than you are, isn't it still a collapse? I mean, somebody just posted on a video right before I went live, one of the previous videos, that the United States will never go into SHTF. And I was thinking about a comment to make, and I'm like, 21 trillion in debt, unconstitutional wars, a growing police state. Like, where do you want to talk about that we are not in a police state or a SHTF? Is it not occurring? Just because it's slow, just because it's slowly hitting the fan, doesn't mean it's any less real, right? That's something to think about. M. Long says Martin Armstrong gives us about 2 years, right? If it's and those dates are don't mean anything. I think that's a very bad a term to try to pinpoint a date. It could be overnight, practically. It could be quick, or it could be long term, 5, 6, 10 years down the road, where we just wake up one day and we're like, remember how good it used to be? How much better things used to be than they are now? But no, we're still here. But it's relative too, because we see our standard of living to a certain degree better, but yet your earnings power, you have to work harder, longer to get a lot of those things. Hey Thatcher, thanks for joining us. How you doing? You say, and so A Thatcher says collapse is inevitable. We don't need to help it. Most people have worked their whole life and have nothing to show for it other than bills and receipts. Right? Yeah, it's going to happen. A lot of those, and it's getting worse and worse. While our parents' generation kind of, majority were able to save up something, that's in the follow-on years after that, like fewer and fewer people have anything saved up to be able to work with. I mean, basically nobody is retiring. I look at it and I'm like, I will not be able to retire. I will always be working in some capacity to earn a little cash, at least on a slow level, if nothing else. Boneyard says God helps those that helps themselves. Indeed, I believe that. Follow the fiat money trail. Stop playing their games. All good comments out there, fellas. So I'm going to catch up on the side. Bobby Solar Homestead. What's up, Bobby? Hey, I liked that video today. That was good to get caught up on. I tried to get my son to watch it to figure out your that setup, but he didn't want to listen. So I'm going to read the side chat here. Who I got in here? Saints with me. You want to go ahead, Saints?
Sergeant Major. 1H.
So what's going on?
Just listening to watching the world burn.
Well, did you see any of these O'Keefe videos from earlier today?
Yes, I did. I'm
right.
impressed.
With the work?
Somebody buy that young man a cookie.
Yeah, I don't think he was doing most of the work. I think he had a female doing a couple of those. And lured them in deals. It looked like they were trying to impress a lady with a lot of that bold talk they were putting out there.
Well, maybe he won't get what was the guy's name that the car blew up?
Oh, yeah, what was that guy's name? Who was that? Oh, somebody on the side chat, I'll remember. The one that wrecked?
Yeah.
The Fast and Furious guy?
Yeah. Maybe that won't happen to his car.
Yeah, where it gets remote controlled remotely and driven into a tree.
Yeah, because you know what they say about the nail that sticks up.
It gets hammered down, right? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the stuff he's previously done has been pretty good stuff, but this is more over the target than before, I would say.
Well, he's dealing with people that's got the keys to the front door, and everything else. They've got keys to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
They open
often,
most, yeah, they can open most any lock.
yeah, we've often talked about that when people try to support Trump, and it's like you don't realize that um it doesn't matter. Maybe Trump is on the up and up, but there's too much resistance. There's too many people that are entrenched that want the bureaucracy, even if they're not diehard communists like these people. There are people that are going there and do their jobs to the letter, and they're doing their jobs to the letter. The way things are written and done now is oppression of the people. It's still not a good outcome.
Well, I saw Laura Ingraham, part of Laura Ingram's interview with Mike Pompeo, and they showed him the video of the people at the State Department. And I'm not going to say I can call somebody's attitude by the look on their face, but he didn't look happy. He kind of pretty much told her, "Yeah, we're aware of that, and we're working on a solution to that problem right now." Bada boom, bada bing. Today, one of them gets fired from the State Department. I don't think Pompeo, he's not much of a practical joker. He eats, drinks, and sleeps and bleeds serious business. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think I did see a brief article about that firing today, but I didn't know what it was based upon. I didn't go that far into it. Hey, we got Mule Team out there. What's going on, Mule? Good evening. Red October. Howdy. What is up? You must have tomorrow off to be up this late. Yeah, as Boneyard says, the system is designed for us all to be in perpetual debt, and that's the inflationary monetary system. It can't function any other way. That's fact. And if we stop taking on debt, it starts collapsing. So that's the ultimate solution. But how many people are going to go for that? Bug Out Bubba says slow burn is scarier than a sudden one. Right, Bug Out, and we have I've kind of talked through that as well, because the bad thing about the slow burn is it eats your resources that you have been able to stockpile at a slow pace while you're going through it, so that when you get really to the bad point of things, you have less and less to operate with, to be successful with. You have less food, you have less stores, you have less ability to go buy new stores or produce more stores, because either you don't have the economic vitality, you're older, you don't have the ability to put in the labor, or you have the police state coming around knocking on your door taking your stuff, or worse. So the slow burn is definitely a bad situation, and that's almost why the collapsitarian uh, attitude, I think, is maybe a little bit better, because um, it gets things done, and we start to rebuild, or just be
I,
free for a while and work on it, figure it out.
I think it is, because they've got their hooks deep in the education system. The institutes of higher learning, and they're poisoning them left and right. I mean, there's several people that's come out and said what's coming out of our colleges and university are trash.
Oh, and
Uh,
it's been like that for what, 30, 40 years. I mean,
well, it is, but the rain barrel's got a bad hole in it, and nobody's putting any more rain in it, and it's getting close to the bottom. So the slow burn, when you're gonna run out. You're running out of water. You're done.
wait, I didn't get that analogy.
Well, they're bleeding it to death, man. So many ticks on it. Though dog can only go so long with ticks on him before he's bled completely out. That's your slow burn. You
Okay.
know,
Okay. I didn't get the rain barrel analogy. I get the tick analogy a little better.
it's better to shave the dog and get the ticks off, and worry about the dog getting cold later.
Okay, gotcha. I live in the desert now. I don't get the rain
Well,
analogies.
that's kind of backwoods, but yeah, you get the gist of it.
Yeah, 20 years ago I got the rain analogy, but now I've been in the desert too long. I don't get it.
Well, they're bleeding it to death, dude. It's just, and you get weaker and weaker and weaker, and then you can't do anything about it. Something's got to be done about it while there's still, two good logs holding up the cabin, before the termites get in them too.
Yeah, and the thing is so many people now are stuck in this mindset that we have to have ticks on the dog. We have to have this system.
No,
we
we don't.
we can just take a few of the ticks off. We can't take them all off because some of those ticks are good for us. Because that's the people's perception now. They think that a certain amount of this is good for them or
They're
us.
pulling off 2 ticks and putting on 2 giant vampires, man.
There you go. Oh yeah, we'll take 100 of those ticks off. But here's a couple vampire bats to
Right?
put on.
Yeah, they're and they're hungry.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nevada, Tony was out there. Where did he go? Tony, you got a link if you want to jet in. I don't know if he was in at work or what.
No, he said he was watching a movie with his better half, and said as soon as the movie's over, he'd jump in.
Oh, Angel said he was making a movie.
Oh no.
I said that was too much information. Yeah. Yeah, Truth Free says triage shop. Start with needs in order. Yeah, that's always getting started in prepping. That's all. And I've got an idea for a whole video series that is going to take a year, but that's going to start in the new year, I think. I've got an idea. We'll see how it goes.
Do we have a year? Do we need to do it in 6 months? Do
well,
we have a year?
But I'm just thinking forward of starting the different videos, and that was one thing I was looking at is a prioritization, just a slow way to do it, and reviewing what I've got, and comparing it to what is recommended in this program, basically. But yeah, it may be too late by January when I wanted to get started. Mr. Angel, what's going on?
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing?
You got any thoughts on the subject at hand? Did you got the most of the prelude, or
burn it all down? That's what I say. Burn it all down. I don't trust none of it. It's too corrupt to try to fix. It's too corrupt to try to change anything. You just got to start from scratch.
If they're going to do it, let's start the music and get the dance going, because the longer they drag out the true Americans, the weaker they're going to get. And the deeper in debt and deeper in the hole they're dug.
Well, we know the system's going to collapse. I mean, it's a given. The plan is to put in another form of government, whether it's a one world government or whatever. They just want to do away with the old. So the collapse is going to happen eventually. Now, my mom always said, if you know you're going to fight somebody and it's inevitable, then be the first one to throw the first punch and get it over and done with, and at least get a head start on that. Don't wait for them to hit you first. So my thing is just burn it down. We know it's coming.
Well, but do we really even have the capability to do that? Other than removing ourselves from the system, like kind of brief, getting out of the tax situation as much as you can, things like that. But other than that, what really can you do that has real effect? Unless there's millions doing it at once, does it really have an effect?
No. Well, you would have to have numbers.
You got people all over the world that's sitting and waiting on the fire to start, and they're going to throw logs on it and gas on it and everything else. The Chinese would love to step up and be number one, and they're going to help it burn down. They always do. Russians do too. Just like our intervention into Yemen and various places in the world, Syria, to help them burn it down. You don't think they wouldn't love to see the U.S. be in a total state of anarchy? They'd love it.
Right. That reminds me, there was an article this week. Chinese bond holdings are at a 6-year low. And incidentally, our 10-year bond is up over 3% this week. No coincidence there. They did that big sell-off, and that's the big threat, and that's really the war that's going on behind the scenes that people don't realize is this has already started. There's already this conflict going, and it's just a matter of chess moves of who gets the upper hand on who and when. Obviously, the South China Sea is already, and there was an article today about that. Essentially, the Chinese have control of the South China Seas. Short of a war with America, they are not going to be dislodged. So that chess piece is in place. The bond issue and the economics, the tariffs, that's another chess piece. And all this stuff's going on, but most people are just playing politics with it instead of seeing it for what it really is in that larger conflict,
Well, China's came out and stated that they're going to be the, number one chop shop of the world there. So their plans are laid.
Right, number one chop. And Pop's Quest says, burn it all down, then what? That's a even huger question. I think that's the reason so many people don't like to address this or even focus on it, or they really push back when you mention the downfall of central government because of the fear of what's on the other side. Nobody knows what's coming at the other side. If it does collapse, or if there is a small revolution, a dissolving of the states, if you will, nobody knows what's on the other side. We all kind of have ideas of what we'd want to affect to have a freer nation, but it's really got to revolve around principles, not so much the structure of what's in place, but the principles have to be there. And that's when and really, if I look at it, I'm looking back at, okay, there's constitutional principles, and you tweak the things that we know they made mistakes on. If you could go back and rewrite the original Constitution, and if they would have divided the original colonies, because that was after the Articles of Confederation, and then they go to form the Constitution. If they would have divided then peacefully and just took out the 2/5 clause, think of how much different history would have been for freedom and everything else. But we can learn from those mistakes and rewrite something different. Now we could try to go the true anarchy route, but with all the world powers and other governments around the world, there's going to have to be some consolidation to be able to defend each other, because people are going to try to come in and take what they want, even if we think we can live in a stateless society.
I agree with that last point strongly. I know anarchism gets a real bad rap because of the socialists and communists claiming to be anarchists. But I think humans give themselves very little credit when it comes to self-governance. Seems like the majority, if not most people, think that they just can't live life without a government controlling them or telling them or overseeing them. And I don't agree with that. But it is true that either way, there would have to be some sort of unity among the people to be able to be a force to be reckoned with, because everybody's going to be trying to get a piece of the pie. And as far as those that think, well, what's going to come afterwards, rebuild. I mean, rebuilding something new is when it's going to come afterwards. I mean, it's scary to think about it. And our forefathers had to go through it, and other nations have gone through it throughout history. But I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and say, well, I'd rather live in tyranny than take a risk to see what's on the other side. You're never going to find out until you cross that line. It may be better, it may not, but at least you gave it a try. And I think that in reality is the true defeatist mentality. When people out of fear sit there and say, well, I don't want to risk to try to find out what's on the other side.
Yeah, but you better go back and look at your history books, because that tyranny deal, yeah, that didn't turn out real good for the people that said I can't do anything about it, because they ended up burning before their time. Uh, the ones that stood up, got off their knees. At least they made an effort instead of melting into the wax,
Right, and that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. People would rather live oppressed or live under tyranny because their fear is the fear that they have is greater of the unknown or what could be on the other side. So they'd rather just live in that under that tyranny and oppression because they're just too afraid.
Yeah, and that same fear, I think, like you're saying there, the fear is the biggest problem with people. Not so much that they're going to not have a government, but they're also afraid of other people and what they're going to do without government controlling them, because their own internal fears are what they're capable of. I think it's you people project their own fears upon other people.
Quasar brings up a good comment out there. He says, rebuild something new. When the old system was destroyed, it didn't fail. Yeah, we failed the system. We failed the Constitution. But then again,
it was subverted.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Saints.
Dude, it was subverted. Look what's going on right now. People are fighting government officials fighting to bring down the government of the U.S. Holy shit, man. Somebody run up a flag, flip the U.S. flag, something. I'd say it's in distress.
Right. And that's what I was just going to say. I mean, we, the American people, failed the Constitution. In my opinion, do I think the Constitution is 100% perfect? No. Obviously, there were some minor flaws in there that opened up the gates for things to go to where we are today. So was it a perfect document? No. Was it the best, in my opinion, that we've had in history for people, being governed? Yes. I am a constitutionalist, and I wish we could go back to those days and restore it to the way it should have originally been, to its original form. But again, we have to destroy it because the system that we have today is not a constitutional system. The government of today is not the government of a republic like we are supposed to be. So hence why I say again, burn it down. People live under the illusion thinking that this is the America, this is the United States of America that was, created 200 and was it 40 years ago or something, and it's not. And again, people don't want to wake up to that reality. Everybody lives in this illusion of we're free and we're this and we're that. And, we have the Constitution and no, we're not. And no, we don't.
Yeah, no doubt. And then when you get along with that, that's where I go more into, shouldn't anybody that puts that out, shouldn't we all want it to collapse to rectify that problem? Because either it collapses or it's going to come for us in a very violent way, like all big governments always do. So you can wait for a big violent government or hope it collapses. Are there any other options around that? Am I wrong?
Well, I agree.
Well, one thing for sure, it doesn't, I've said it before in a couple different chats. It doesn't matter. There's a million people out there that said something's going to happen. They may not agree on what's going to happen, financial collapse, caldera collapse, earthquake, flood, tidal wave, et cetera, EMP. They won't agree on what's going to happen, but everybody agrees that something's going to happen because there's too much going on for it not to. So if you don't get ready for it, it's on you.
Yeah. Bug Out Bubba says the anarchy won't be tolerated by the New World Order, but also there was a comment earlier about something similar about the collapse. What they didn't want, the elite didn't want to collapse. Somebody, who was that? Was that Pop's Quest that said that earlier? I have to go way back, but and that's why it's getting drug out. That's why the central banks have been playing these games for all these decades and all these shenanigans and lulling people into this false sense of security that their currency is real and you can just work for these credits basically. And now we're going to put it in a computer and that's going to be fine too. And because it's all going to be tracked and it's going to have this chain, blockchain technology, and it's all going to be this secure system. And don't worry about it. It's going to be your value represented in numbers. All that debacle from going from a gold based, where the banks just kind of were an intermediary, to now they control the origination, distribution, and spending and debt of all of that, is it's almost terrifying when you think about it.
Well, I don't know about the different parts of the country, which I'm sure it'll be, crazier in some places than it is in others. But I can't, and where around this area, I can't ever see it going back to the Wild Wild West. People will stand together to stop immoral, and maybe it's just where I'm at, but I can't see the people around here, even after the worst of the worst happens, rip roaring, shooting this, shooting that, drive through this, that, and the other. They'll put a stop to that pretty quick, or I believe they will, because there's communities of moral people that's not going to tolerate the Wild Wild West. They're going to shoot for some level of normalcy until they get overwhelmed or starved out.
And I think these recent hurricanes and everything else kind of highlight that. Like, yeah, you're going to have some looting. Yeah, that's always going to be a problem in any society. It's going to be worse than what we're used to, that's for sure. But I think, like you're saying, some of the worst predictions of a collapse or any disaster are kind of hyped to a certain extent, because there is that prevailing theme in a lot of America now. You got to caveat that with the biggest problem is where there's big clusters of people stuck together in small little squares in square mile areas. That's where the problem really lies. Yep. And that's where the problem is really going to be.
Yeah, people stacked on top of people, stacked on top of people. Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
I'm going to try to get some more links out here.
I was going to say something, but little Ben decided to chime. What I was going to say regarding as far as like, in my opinion, as far as like rule of law during a collapse, I don't think it'll be as bad as many think, because, for example, look at the hurricanes with the looting and all that. I don't think looting would be as bad during these hurricanes as it is if it wasn't because of government, because so many people are scared to go out there and defend their property because of liability, or because they don't want to be out there with a gun and have the cops shoot at them or National Guard shoot at them. They stay at home and let themselves be victims in their businesses or even their own homes. But if they didn't have that fear of government looming over them, I agree with Saints. People would unite and get together and form some sort of law and order, and keep order in their towns, their cities, whatever. So hey, in reality, it's not that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was just like Pop's question, checking out. So thank you for coming in. He doesn't get by very often. But thanks for coming in. Go ahead, Angel.
But no, I was just going to say, so in reality, people think government protect them, but I think in some circumstances, government actually makes it worse. Because again, in my opinion, more people would be out there defending themselves and their property and taking care of looters, and more people would be afraid of be looting and committing crimes during natural disasters. If people weren't so afraid of government coming after them.
Well, and not only does it provide a restriction in that level, but government also creates a dependency on a certain amount of the population that when things go bad and they don't see a government, they get concerned and they go out and do things like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something you will see. You'll see some, I don't know what you call it, purge activity, because people will take opportunities to settle old scores when things go bad. They've done it all through history.
Vigilantism.
Well, yeah, that and the dirty cop, et cetera, et cetera. They may not be at the barbecue after the hostilities have ceased.
Right. Certain people might not show up for dinner the next day.
Something to that effect, without being suggestive.
Like, I'll give you an example. Remember back during the what the hell was it, the LA riots with Rodney King? That was his name, right? The Negro guy, Rodney King, and the other white guy, the truck driver,
Yeah,
Reginald Denny. Yeah. Look at them as far as the Asian businesses that took arms immediately and stood their ground with their firearms and had shootouts and protected their stuff. They knew that they couldn't depend on law enforcement or anybody to come in and protect them and their livelihood. And they took it upon themselves, and they were able to protect their businesses and their lives because they were targeted, by the Negro community during that riot. So they took arms and basically looked out for themselves and worked together in cohesion.
Yeah, that was the old California too. Things have changed a lot now. That was like when California was transitioning out of being a decent place to live. Catching up on the side chat here. We got Quasar says America was turned into a corporation. You're not privy to the Constitution as property of the corporation, right? Quasar, you got a link if you want to jump in. You can pontificate from here.
Well, I know there are desperate people right now because just looking at what they're doing, these people are really, really desperate. I mean, supposed to be the pillars of society 10, 20 years ago when they were in their heyday and coming out doing dirty tricks like they're doing right now. Holy cow, man. That's pure desperation. They don't care. They like being in power. They like being in the castle with the king. And they don't want to come back out with the peasants.
Yeah, you talk about the Pelosi's and the Schumers and the.
Oh, dude, whatever they have to do, they're going to do it. I mean, they were like, well, I know these people. They were this, they were that, they did this, they did that. They have either soured or I don't know what's happened, dude. I think a lot of them are desperate that they're going to be named. Their name's going to come up in all this shenanigans that's going on.
Found out.
Yes, sir.
And
but it's go ahead.
No, go ahead, Saints.
Oh, it's just like I said, I've been around a while. I've never seen it like this. I've seen some dirty stuff, but wow, man, this is you're guilty until you're proven, and obligations on you to prove yourself innocent now by a mere accusation. Are you kidding me? Anybody anywhere can call you out on anything, and then you have to dump out your pockets to try to defend yourself.
Right. And usually behind bars before you get a chance to defend yourself.
Unbelievable. Over accusations now. No proof, no total hokey bullcrap. Don't know, no when, where, what, how, anything. Just an accusation, boom, you're automatically trashed.
Right. Yeah, it could get pretty ugly. And that kind of goes to what you're talking about, the politicians entrenching themselves, being entrenched. And that's one thing I got out of these videos. And I've talked about this before, and just wanted to highlight that too, is
they got a job. They got a job for life, dude. They think they got a job for life. Oh, you can't fire me. I'm union. I'm blah, blah, blah.
It's not even that. These are becoming the true believers. The Pelosi's and Schumers are the corporate oligarchs who had took advantage of the system to enrich themselves.
Well, they were getting rich. These people are total brainwashed. Dude, these guys, they're not coming back. They're gone forever. They are not coming back.
These people are the true believers of the communist way.
Yes, sir.
That's that they've been indoctrinated as such, and they've fully committed themselves that capitalism is this horrible evil that has not benefited anybody, not realizing that they've never really lived under true capitalism, et cetera, et cetera. And so these people that are just like that, or Kez, what's that crazy eye?
Yes, sir.
New York representative that's getting elected. Like, those are the really scary people who are going to be the useful idiots, because they are the frontline troops for the agenda, but they're going to get taken out in the long run when it actually gets implemented, because they're going to be the dangerous ones at that point. Hey, Tommy Boy spotted a thumbs down. Watch out. We got somebody that doesn't like us. Hey, it's better than having 9. We had that one run on 9 thumbs down one night, so we're doing good.
Wow. Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. We might be up to 9 already now that we've mentioned it. Lots of good comments. Truth Freeze wants to play a video on the white helmets. That's kind of off topic, Truth Freeze. You're talking about the Syrian white helmet gang?
Yeah, I saw where the DOD and the Pentagon's backing up the white helmets. Oh, they're helping. No, they're not.
Like the little Nelson character, we're helping.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're collaborators and combatants.
Oh yeah, well, this just goes to show you that either Trump's ignorant or in on it. I don't necessarily believe he's incapable of doing anything about it, but we're promoting Al Qaeda in Syria again, essentially.
Yeah, they're the Red Cross, but with guns.
With gun, Red Cross with guns. Hey, that's my job. I thought I was the Red Cross with guns. Wait a second, what?
I like the comment that Bug Out Bubba put out there. Ask a Native American what government did for them. Preppers can expect the same treatment in a collapse. I think not only preppers, but dissenters, anybody who doesn't go along with the system, can expect the same treatment.
Yeah, government has never been full of love and, embracing you and warmth and cuddles and, giving you your hot cocoa before you go to bed or whatnot.
Yep.
Lots of good comments out there in the side chat, though. I'm trying to keep just select some stuff out of here. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was funny when the Syrian army ran the last of the jihadis into the Golan Heights there, where they've got that. Well, I guess it's more or less a DMZ, And when they backed them up in there, they had to bus the jihadis out in buses. That was part of their surrender. But the white helmets didn't leave on the buses. They were allowed to go across the border and go into Israel. And nothing was ever said about that. I mean, a few people covered it, but.
Yeah, I don't remember that myself. I don't remember that incident.
Well, when they took that last little pocket right there in the bottom part of Damascus, so right in the lower corner where it goes up against that UN zone. I think they've got a, what is it, maybe 5 miles. It may not even be 5 miles, but they've got a zone in there that the UN had to pull out of because of the fighting. Well, when they back in Israel, they're guarding one side of it, but they wouldn't. When they ran them down there in the last pocket, surrendered, and they got their terms of surrender. They brought those big buses in and bust them out. But the white helmets were supposed to go with them, but they got permission to go through it, to escape through the UN zone into Israel. So
conveniently, right?
Yeah, it sounded a little hokey there. I'm kind of, what?
Well, look at what's going on right now between Israel and Russia with the back and forth this week. Y'all heard about the downing of that Russian plane, right?
Please expound.
Russian cargo plane, I believe it was around 15, they're claiming 15 Russian troops were inside of it, was shot down by Syrian forces, but Russia is saying that they have evidence to prove the reason was because 2 Israeli jets were illegally doing bombing raids inside of Syria, and they basically used the Russian plane as cover. So when the Syrians shot at the jets, I guess they took off, and the missiles ended up hitting the rockets ended up hitting the Russian plane, killing everybody on board. So Putin said he's personally holding Israel responsible. Israel has first claimed that their jets were already inside of Israeli airspace when the downing went down, and only to turn around shortly after and threaten Russia and say, look, if you continue arming Syria, we're going to start going after Russian troops inside of Syria and make Russian targets a priority within Syria. And of course, this downing and all this crap happened shortly after Russia helped take over 2 key points inside of the Golan Heights, or near the Golan Heights, disputed area in Syria. So anyways, they're going back and forth, and Putin said that Russia basically came out and said that this was not going to go unanswered, and Israel's threatening Russia, saying back off or else we're going to make you guys our targets. So
yeah, so I got the article pulled up here from NPR from a couple of days ago. They're talking about it. So yeah, it says a surveillance plane. So if 15 people on board, it's more like a AWACS or a P3 jammer signal receptor, where it pulls in all types of different radio transmissions and stuff, and they analyze it and whatnot. Like what we had that got grounded on that Chinese island way back in like 2001 or 2000. If y'all remember that. So it just gathers up all the data out of the sky and they analyze it.
Was it AWACS?
Well, an AWACS is for command and control primarily, right? But it's something similar on a similar platform, but it brings in, just pulls in all the signals it can possibly collect.
Yeah, I remember when that plane went down, but I don't remember what I couldn't remember what it was, whether it was a ACM plane or what,
Yeah, it had a big crew, kind of like this one does, this Russian deal. It had like 10, 15 service people on board. But it's like a P3 platform, the P3 Orion, like the Sub Hunters. I think it's on that similar platform, at least ours was. And it looks like this Russian version is also a 4 turboprop deal. So similar platform probably. What was the point of that story, Angel?
I don't know. I heard something about Syria when Stinks was talking about Syria or something, and Israel, white hats, helmets, whatever. So I just asked if anybody had heard what was going on, because, people are sitting here worried about, all this crap going on in the government and Trump sleeping with this and that. And I just, again, to me, it's just all a show. It's circus and bread, and people are, oh, but Trump is real, but Trump isn't real, but maybe he is, but maybe he isn't. And, and this person got outed and that person got outed. And, this person is being accused of raping actresses and whatnot. And meanwhile, you know, you got major shit going around the world that can, you know, escalate or kick off World War III or, you know, go hot any day. And instead, Americans are sitting there focusing on things like, you know, politics and whatnot, which, in my opinion, again, we have no control over. It's like a big WWE show, you know, and to sit there and think, well, you know, we still have good people in power. We still have, you know, whatever. It's not a defeatist mentality. It's, to me, it's just a realist mentality. You
Yeah,
know,
it would be better to recognize. It would be better to recognize reality rather than suffer from your own delusions, right?
yeah, it's like, you know, okay, you know, if we see how, we know how corrupt the system is, we know how bad it is, but instead of sitting there and not us specifically, but like I see other channels where specifically, you know, all they do is spend so much time and waste so much energy on, well, you know, is Trump the real deal? Is he not? You know, he's being attacked, the deep state, the deep state. You know, I was thinking about that the other day and it cracked me up because all you ever hear now is a deep state. Oh, well, there's a deep state entrenched with the government and they're trying to bring down the real government or the good government. And I just think it's funny because, again, maybe I just think different than everybody else, but you know, when so many people were agreeing and saying our government is screwed up and we need to do something about it, we need to fix it, we need to change it, then all this talk came about of the deep state. So what did it do? It further divided Americans and it caused another distraction. So rather than people saying, look, our entire government is screwed, our entire government needs to be rebuilt, redone, whatever. No, now it's like, well, when something wrong happens or something bad happens, well, no, it's not the government because the government is our friend. It's the deep state fault. It's the deep state doing it. And to me, I look at it like, again, another further distraction. So it's like, hey, don't hate the government, even though technically our entire government is tyrannous. No. It's the deep state that we need to go after. And it's another distraction. So it just amazes me.
Right there, Angel.
I look at that. I look at it. I'm looking at it with a different set of glasses on, Angel, than you do. I'm looking at it like, okay, they made people pick sides. They pretty much came out and said, okay, you need to pick a side, and whoever fell on ever which side. But you know, instead of saying that it's just distraction, I think they smoked out some freaking enemy. And they proved some people to be some liars that you might used to believe what they said. You don't believe their ass anymore because they're dead, lying, bought, and paid for it. So that's a double-edged sword, as some people call it.
Yeah, but even the people that are being smoked out that are coming out, in my opinion, those are just sacrificial lambs. Because if you look at all the ties of all the presidents and all the things that they've done between, you know, being tied to pedophilia, you know, scandalous stuff, going against the freaking Constitution, having companies, financial interests in wars, you know, and all this other crap. I mean, it's been going on. So just because, you know, a handful, not even a handful, I mean, 0.03% or 0.0001% are being exposed now, to me, that's just a distraction.
Freaking top of the ladder, dude. I mean, this is not three high school buddies that all got jobs at the FBI and were raking in an extra $150,000 a year. Man, this was the freaking creme de la creme with all benefits were doing it.
Yeah, well, I think
it's a pretty big catch myself. I think if it comes through, if it does come through, and these people, I think it'll be something that's one of the most milestones in U.S. history that's happened. I may be wrong.
Lambs.
I may be believing. I may be drinking the Kool-Aid and believing the novel, but I don't know. I mean, it's too big to kick to the curb and say it's just a divide, man. That's a little Democrat coming out now. Now I don't want to step on no toes, be a Debbie Downer, but I'm hearing some Democrat come out over there, and we you know, we put our waders on when we get around Democrats, so we don't want it running in our boots when it gets deep.
I think more to what we're talking about, or Angel kind of brought up there, though, is that they made this new narrative where you can be against the deep state but still be for the government, and that's the real divide that really caught people. That you now have this people siding now. Well, we can have the good part of the government, and kind of getting back to like we were talking about getting these fools out of the government. Is that really possible? Can you really have a good government that's going to do the things when it's so overblown and bloated and in debt that there's no coming back? You don't want to be on the government side.
No, it's not on your side. Be my buddy. Everybody, you know what? Be my buddy. Like me, be my buddy. I don't want to be your buddy. You're an asshole. You know, just do your job and move on. You know, I don't have to love you for you to do an efficient job, and you know, have some kind of standard to go by. But dude, I may have derailed it there. I may have got off track bad.
That's nothing unusual for the chat. You know how that goes. It's a normal day of the operation right here.
I don't know. I've heard all you got to do to win is survive, come out the other side alive and survive it. So I guess we'll see. The one that lives wins. That's kind of basic.
Yeah, Bug Out Bubba's got it right here. Just saying that if we wait for our leaders to bargain us out of this mess, we are finished. We get what we deserve. Taking America back won't happen in the voting booth or from the top. Right. Very well said.
Like I said, I think the deep state, the term itself was coined again as a strategy by those in power, just like QAnon and all that other stuff. It's just little things to keep the folks occupied, entertained, in line, whatever you want to call it.
It's our own little circus for the conspiracy theorists to latch onto.
Yep.
Right? That's a legitimate concern. That's why you always got to keep your ears open and you're always thinking, because I never have followed that QAnon stuff. I've never thought that would be possible, legitimate. I don't know how to say it. It's just too shady, I think, to be legit.
Yeah, they always saying they don't ever give you anything good, you know, or I followed it when they first started posting stuff. They never did give you anything good, but they always said trust the plan. But what plan? Whose plan? You know?
My thing is this, if for me to trust government at all would be the day that we have a president that goes up there and says we're a constitutional republic and we're going to abide by the Constitution, and any law against the Constitution will be null and void. And then when Congress turns around and they stand up and they say, you know what, we agree with the president, that's the way it is and that's the way it shall be, then you know what, fine. Senate, same thing. That's when I'll start trusting government, or that's when I'll consider trusting government. But until that day, to me, they're all just whatever. I'll keep it PG. Nasty people. How's that? Traitors. Ain't none of them good.
There's some traitors up there. You can bet money on that. There are some up there that would fall into that category.
Hey, Barry Woods join us. Good evening, Barry. How you doing? LS out there says we're raising kids hope for a future where they thrive or at least survive. So we know it's crap. A move got to be made, or we just stay on the wheel? ? I guess he means stay on the wheels and guiding things, and without making a big drastic move. The collapse. Initiating the collapse. I guess you'd say, kind of like we're talking about, or initiating the resistance or revolution or whatever, however you want to say it. Do you either do that or you take over? Take the wheel. Or whatnot. But yeah, Quasar says Q says don't prep. No point, just watch the show. That's strike one. So Q said that in a message tweet or something there, Quasar. I had not heard that. That's a strike for sure. Yeah, anybody that says that's automatically a downer in my book. Wes S is here. What's going on, Wes? Wes says any move would be citizen against citizen. That means people against their own family. Well, not any move. Moves can be made against the central authority. It's got to be selective in that respect, but that still could pit citizen against citizen. Wes says he's staying up late again. That's good. Good. You need to stay up a little bit with us sometimes. All right, looks like Vborg just jumped in here with us. How you doing, Vborg? All right, looks like side chat is just fired up. Good stuff. So yeah, that's the question of the day. Then is we got one of these guys relieved from their position, but if these selected few that have been revealed through this Veritas project, how what's the word? How likely is it we were able to dig out any other moles, ticks? Are we able to dig enough ticks off the hound saints to make a difference, or do you just put down the hound?
You can make them. You can make them not be so brazen. You can make people start watching one another. I mean, a good way to get somebody to watch somebody else is to tell them, hey, that dude right there is a thug. Because every time he comes around, they're going to be watching him because somebody told him he's a thug. So you kind of they'll get them watching in there among each other. It'll be a good thing. Unless the whole department are communists, then it don't matter.
Yeah, and I would kind of lean towards the idea that it's more likely that the whole department is compromised from a very large degree. Well, I wouldn't say 100%, but 80%. Because who brought these people on? Who hired them? Who gave them the idea to lie on these forms? This is a long-standing thing. This isn't like they're individuals acting alone.
Dig them up. Get the big shovel. Dig them up.
Dig who up? The bodies, or what do you mean?
No, dig them out. Dig the rats out of the holes there. Make them. I would. I'd have them in there, to turn in on each other to get rid of the bad ones out there. I'd piss them off enough they'd say, I can't stand Trump. That'd be great. Okay, well, we know where you stand.
Yeah, how do you put enough heat on? So you think you can put enough heat on the tick to get them out and spare the dog, is what you're saying?
Stop the bleeding.
I don't know if I think that's possible, but I see what you're saying.
And then again, it may make them go deeper. They may go into their little secret, they like the spy novels, super secret cells, in their leaderless resistance. So, yeah, we'll see what they do.
I got to say, I like the comment that Lad DJM wrote out there. If you keep looking for quote unquote leaders, you'll have a never-ending stream of megalomaniacs to fill the position. Lead yourself. I like that.
Yeah, how's the quote go? Something about the not the unwilling, but the leader that what's the word, Saints? You've probably heard the quote.
Yeah, the unwilling led by the unknowing.
No, not that one. More like the best leaders are those who do it begrudgingly. They don't they don't embrace the position, but they do it because it knows it needs to be done type deal.
Right.
Because you're always going to have leaders in some form.
Dude, there's good people out there, man. There are great moral, constitutional people that they just need to be put in the right places and get these freaking idiots out of there.
But I mean, definitely, low-level leadership is definitely needed. You got to have people who are taking action. You know, you got to know what the right thing to do is. You got to have your own compass, because then good followers are also good leaders. That's another truism that I've found.
Well, I'm sure these people will think twice before they go out to dinner with somebody, let somebody take them out to dinner and then sit there and spill their guts on a hidden camera, you know.
And this guy, the GAO guy, when he was talking, you could totally tell that he was like trying to impress some hot chick. Yeah. So I can only imagine the way this chick was dressed to like totally get him, you know, lead him on, you know.
Yeah, does this top make my boobs look big?
Oh, I'm sure she was just he was just trying every little angle he could get to, you know, but he didn't want to, you know, be part of the Me Too movement that far, you know. But you could just tell by the way he was acting. It just sounded like somebody who was, you know, it sounded like he may have said something it wasn't really true, but he obviously he's lost his job now and said a little too much.
Well, I think you're right, though. Those places are loaded because, I mean, you know, I don't know Tucker Carlson, but he's been up there among it, and he says all the time, this place is full of them. Even when he mentioned this article, he said, man, there are a lot of them that's gotta go, you know.
Oh, yeah. Everybody should be suspicious because everybody's there trying to gather info and get a leg up on you. If it's not the Russian spies, it's the, you know, Israeli spies. If it's not them, it's the Chinese spies or the British spies. I mean, it's full of spies to begin with, plus all the press operatives like this. There's all the organizations have these types of people, you know, doing counter research, what you would say are doing on the Republicans and stuff. Like it's the cesspool.
It is, and it's not just that they're not doing their job. You know, if they were just not worth a crap, you know, couldn't pick up the wrong end of a you know, couldn't get the right end of a stick, you know, if they tried 2 times, and they just, not only are they just not bad employees, dude, they're actually trying to tear it down. That, you know, subversion, and that's in that's in all the overthrow handbooks, the terrorist handbooks. It's subversion, tear it down from the inside down, dude. It's insane. Yeah. Like I said, not only are they not good employees, they're pushing it down. They're going in reverse. They're making it worse.
Yeah. El Chavez says the guy looks like a Middle Eastern. His name is Subramanian. He looks to be Indian or Pakistani. I would say he's probably Indian because of his lighter shade. But what would you call this?
I'm not going to say nothing about that.
Yeah. Hey, Tony, what's up? You got a link, Tony, if you want to roll in.
I just sent him a text, ask him where he's at.
See if his movie's over with yet.
I don't know, man. When they're attacking the place that they actually work for, that's beyond me. It's terrible if they're a crappy employee, late to work every day, never gets crap done. That's okay. We're going to write you a check. But don't come in here and burn the house down.
This guy even said he spent 8 hours on social media or 6 hours on social media at work working for the Democratic Socialist Party.
Dude, that's just insane. You got to go. Sorry, no pension, no soup, no pension for you.
Well, apparently he is gone. This guy at least is gone. So that's that's a good thing. Small victories, I guess. But really, are you able to turn back the ultimate direction of the state when you've got thousands of these guys? Hey, Food Forest, good evening. How you doing? It's like him and Stan Ulch have popped in here. Quasar tells Tony to get in here and run this off the rails. I thought we already ran off the rails a couple times.
Tony said he needs a call in. I'm going to try to see if I can link him in somehow.
Okay, I see him a link. On the G Plus, Tony. Is he not on G Plus anymore? We shall see. Wes says, if you all figure out what we need to do, if we all figure out what we need to do, let him know. Email him the particulars. He's going to get some sleep. Yeah, Wes, we usually don't get to any good conclusions on here. We just get ourselves riled up and just angry enough not to go to sleep. That's usually the way it works out around here, right, Angel?
Yep.
That's why Angel never sleeps. He'll roll out of here. He'll go to some German chat. Then he'll roll into Tony's morning chat. And he might nap, noon to 4 before he rolls into somebody else's chat on the East Coast.
Man, I broke down. I had to see my doctor yesterday for my checkup, and I broke down after years of her trying to get me to take some sleeping pills. I finally broke down, said, yeah, took the prescription. Took it last night with everything else, and 3 hours of sleep, that's it. So, nothing at all. I just can't sleep.
I mean, I've went without sleep before, but I don't know how you do it and stay functional.
Yeah, it's very hard, especially on my body and my heart. It's bad.
Especially in a fast-paced world, like where you're having to make decisions for yourself.
That's why I just have the mindset of I don't care. Something goes wrong, it goes wrong. I make the wrong decision, to hell with it, whatever. But it sucks.
Yeah, I would bet. Sleep is always a good thing. Enjoy my sleep when I can get it.
So did you see on the news, did they show anything your way about the protest that we had here because of that restaurant, that cook or whatever, that chef?
Oh, the guy that cooked for Maduro in Venezuela and Turkey?
Yeah.
Yeah. I read that on the morning news the other morning. We were reading about that. Kind of just
Yeah,
giving him a hard time.
you thought I was kidding. I told you, I was serious when I said that. I mean, if they're going to go after this guy and give him a hard time because, he cooked for Maduro, then you know what? Let's go after everybody who works for every freaking government or billionaire out there that's screwing people over. Why not? Why pick and choose?
Well,
I
I
don't
think
think
it's the communist ties that gets everybody there in Miami riled up. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they were showing them on the news today. They were out there in force, and they're all with their Venezuelan flags and their Cuban flags, and bitching and moaning about, he's out there serving Maduro while Maduro's people are starving, and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, man, that can be said about just about every freaking world government official, president, dictator, whatever you want to call it. I mean, crap. This is ridiculous. Like I said, it's just stupid that nowadays there's so much power to destroy people, and they don't even realize they're destroying the wrong people. They're going after the wrong. I mean, why are you gonna? This gentleman has a restaurant. I guess if what I heard correctly on the news today, they were saying that he has a restaurant in Turkey, and that's where Maduro went. So since it was his restaurant, he figured he would go there and fix the meal himself or whatever and whatnot, and now the guy's looking at being destroyed over here where he has his main restaurant in Miami.
So he didn't go over and offer his services, like they came to him?
Yeah, because apparently he had said that he was going to go, since he was in Turkey, and I guess the guy has a restaurant there, that he was going to go and eat there. So obviously him being the owner, founder, whatever, he's like, well, I'm going to go there and prepare the food personally rather than having my chef do it or one of my chefs do it. And that was it. I mean, the same thing, but they didn't make such a big deal about it. Several years back, what the hell is that singer's name? Mariah Carey. When she was invited to Saudi Arabia or one of those countries over there to perform on the king's birthday. And she got a little bit of flack, you know, and stuff. But she was like, I'm a performer. I get paid to perform. I don't care who it's for, what they do. Their personal life doesn't interest me. You know, this is my job. And it all died down. So to me, this is what this guy did. Same thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think people are just tired of it. It seems like celebrities always go put their worst foot out there or support causes that work against the people so often. It's very rare that they actually support a cause for the people. So that's why they get hammered when they're doing this stuff. Their individual causes always don't help the people that actually, you know, support their music or whatever, you know, their entertainment or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think people are just misguided. They're easily led.
Bug Up Bubba says, I thought we were discussing collapsitarianism. Okay, we'll get back. Well, to bring that back on topic a little bit, you know, if we want to talk about supporting the collapse and just waiting for it to all fall apart, you know, we talk about removing your support from the state so it does collapse, but it also goes with those businesses or entertainers or other things that you remove your consent from or your support from. Is that chef like that an example where, you know, you don't support that because he supports the state, so you know it goes to that level where you won't support anybody so that everybody suffers that does support the state? I mean, that's kind of the direction it has to go, right? If you're going to get a collapse. Bueller? Anybody?
Well, again, if you want to say that this guy is an example of supporting the state, right? Okay, he's serving Maduro. He's doing his job. He's serving the state, and people see Maduro as a failed dictator because he believes in socialism and the troubles people are going through. Then we could use the same exact motivation here in our country. That could be yet another reason not to support our regime, because what a lot of people don't know or refuse to admit is that a lot of the issues going on in Venezuela are not necessarily because of socialism. I think socialism, yeah, is making it worse, but a lot of their difficulties financially and with their collapse has been due to U.S. interference, not only through CIA, but through sanctions. So therefore, that involves the United States. So the suffering of the Venezuelan people can be tied directly to the U.S. and our government. So that would be yet another reason not to support our regime. Well, there you go.
To take that one step deeper, too, though, is if you don't do business with those that do business with the government, that pretty much excludes Ford, General Motors, Walmart, you know, I mean, pretty much because the government's under requirement to support government business, American businesses to a large degree. I mean, not everything is American, you know, manufactured or made or business provided, but they are required to do that. And they FedEx, you know, all of it is, you know, the number of places that you would have to boycott the U.S. government. You know, you have to be buying from China directly and and whatnot to tackle that agenda and do that. You know, if we're talking about trying to collapse the system by that non-participation strategy.
Yeah, they made it impossible. They pretty much made it impossible, because even if you say, okay, well, I don't want to support Walmart and shop there, but a lot of times, a lot of, you know, cities or neighborhoods, they don't have access to grocery stores unless you travel, you know, 10 miles away, when you have a Walmart that's half a mile away, you know, and it just doesn't become feasible. Or you can't find certain supplies unless you go online. And then even then, you're dealing with the big giants like Amazon and all their freaking ties with their government. So no matter where you turn, in one way or another, it's like a big inbred family when it comes to our regime, where everything is tied to one another.
And also, government contract wise, the government is required to give preferential treatment to minority and veteran owned businesses there's a whole line of small businesses that could be impacted if you took that approach too. Is that a bridge too far where, basically somebody who fills the, a small construction project or does small deliveries to the PX on a military base, or does, any government building services like the janitorial services. A lot of those are going to be veteran-owned businesses or disabled veteran businesses and stuff like that. Like, to catch, you're thinking about, these are pretty good people, but these are also people that are supporting the cause of the government that you want to bring down.
Well, I think that's ridiculous anyways, that the government has to, do certain contracts or amount of percentage with minority groups and all that. I think that's just stupid.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm saying that's what they do though.
Right, yeah.
And if you wanted to take that angle that you're not going to support any business that deals with them, then you're really going after a lot of small time people at some level.
I guess what is the old saying? If you take the king's money, I forgot how it goes. Nugs knows how it goes. If you take the king's coin or something, basically you're just as bad. So,
hey Tony, what's going on?
Yo, just spending some time with the wife because I've freaking been on graveyard for a month, so I just switched to days and trying to catch back up with everybody.
Right.
I'm usually gone right now.
You got any thoughts here?
I was trying to get in, so I missed trying to get in and where you guys were at and where you're at now. I see the Veritas video up on the screen.
Did you watch them today, all three of them, or?
I started watching the first one. I haven't watched all of them. I see.
Which one did you see? Which one was it?
The very first one where he started talking about the whatever communist party or whatever the fuck that these guys belong to.
This dude, Subramanian. This guy right here, it's on the screen.
Yeah.
He's a piece of work.
Just take him out, dude. Just take him out. And I don't even understand. I don't know, dude. It's got to be something in the food and the water because motherfuckers are too docile. Like, here's a dude right in front of your face, It's like, well, I don't know. You think he might get fired?
The guy's openly.
Or is he former?
Well, he did. Apparently, he was released today by the GAO. So
that's it, though. You know what I mean? They should have went in his house without a warrant and gunned him down. I'd have fucking been like,
Cody's gonna full on pinochet everybody. Just fly helicopters.
Now we got a chat going.
We start throwing people from helicopters, we'll be set, right?
I know the little old chick that worked for the DSA, the one that was in there, that was in the group that attacked. I guess it was that the director of Homeland Security or something, Kirsten something. They attacked her. She was the one that was on that video running her head, and she was talking about getting people's tag numbers. And I've asked cops before that I knew about getting tag numbers, and you get in trouble for that. That right there, all that, every time you query a tag number, it's recorded. And if they're going in there digging out people's tag numbers to try to figure out where they're at, they liable to get to see the inside.
Yeah, they were talking about she was using LexisNexis, and that she was probably using the agencies, not the obviously personal one. Yeah, that was a different video. That's this one right here, the next one up here. This lady was definitely, you can see she was a left winger from a mile away.
I mean, the cops told me, dude, you get in trouble. You don't look up somebody's tag number unless you're stopping them or got some kind of a, because all that's recorded. And they wouldn't do it. They were like,
Well, I know here in Florida, talking to law enforcement about that prior, it's not that it's illegal. What they've told me is just that it's all recorded. So, goodness forbid that you look somebody up and a couple of days later they end up murdered. It's going to show that you were looking them up and they're going to come after you and you're going to be a prime suspect. So, but as far as I know, like down here in South Florida, it's not illegal, but it is all tracked and they do keep detailed track of all the information. So you don't want to do it again, because if something happens to that person, then, you can be suspect.
Well, I know years ago you could call and say, "Hey, there's a car that's been parked in front of my house. I don't know who it is. The tag number's blah blah blah." And they'd let you know something about. But now that's no, no, no.
Well, I mean, me and HD and anybody who's been following the Bundy stuff has known how corrupt a lot of these government employees are. It could be the secretary in the front office of the BLM, and because they're getting a Fed paycheck. I mean, they're proud of abusing their oath or whatever. They're not, to me, none of this shit doesn't blow me away. I hope it blows other people away. You know what I mean? But the Bundy deal and all that going on, you'd know that. I mean, the federal government, every little bureaucracy is corrupt as it fucking comes. There's no good guys. There's no patriots working for the federal government. That's like a fucking oxymoron or some shit. These guys fucking created a fake documentary crew and then fucking got people that were at Bundy Ranch up to a penthouse and tried to get us all drunk and get you to confess some shit on camera, that never even happened. Just hypotheticals and conspiracies, They fucking.
Yeah, they just wanted another tick in there, put a little tick mark, another conviction on the U.S. Attorney's night post, to kind of continue their job. They see that as just another day at work.
Got 3 times as many informants as you got suspects.
Oh, at Hammond Ranch, it was at the refuge. It was more than that.
That's insane, dude.
It was like 20. It was like 20 informants at the refuge, and like 10 or something. I mean, it was.
But the people around them, the so-called patriots, right? The so-called patriots in these different branches of government, they don't hold these people accountable. They don't fucking blow the whistle, nothing like that. So they're complicit in it all. And to me, they're all one big corrupt, pile of shit. There's not like, oh, well, these guys are good over here and these guys aren't, like when they start talking about abolish ICE, it like sucks because I want the immigration deal to get fixed, you know what I mean? And I fucking hate the whole immigration debate and all that. But at the same time, like if you're going to take away a federal agency, I mean, you should take away more than that. But it'd be hard for me to argue like, yeah, we should keep ICE. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I want law and order, but I mean, all these different little government agencies are unnecessary. It's a drain on it's a drain on us as a society and our pocketbook and all that good stuff, also. But it's no surprise. See this, you could see more. I think that you could see something way worse, I mean, to me, that this is blasphemous, you know what I mean? That kind of talk, about, basically being subversive, socialist, communist, whatever the fuck. What do you say? Well, a lot of us studied Lenin, are Leninists and fucking whoever the other dickhead is, So, I mean, they have an agenda and they're infiltrated in all branches of government. And I mean, to me, you have a president who's he's weak on all this corruption. So I don't see the 4D chess. He's weak on all these fucking traitors. And so what does that make him? That makes him complicit or lazy or not any good qualities, anyways.
All right.
Start locking motherfuckers up, man. Start executing people. Take all them motherfuckers that think they're so fucking cute on camera, right? Line them all up and fucking hang them on pay-per-view.
Paper.
Isn't the price for treason still death? The penalty for treason is still death, or has that changed?
Yeah, but treason's during time of war.
Really? Really? During the war? Huh? What about all the spies that have been tried for treason that weren't during war?
There were? Are you sure about that?
We've been in a time of war for like 17 years, though.
I haven't seen no declaration.
Like the Russian spies and all that crap, and we weren't at war. What was it during the famous case during the 70s? I think it was.
They were executed for treason or something else?
Well, they were charged for treason for spying. They were charged for treason. I think they were sentenced to death. Trying to remember, I think it was 60s or 70s. I don't know. But anyways, my point is like, can't you get charged for treason when you go against the government or the country or whatever? Other than sedition?
I mean, to me, you should be able to be put to death for subversion and
maybe that's what I was thinking of. Sedition.
Sedition
is war.
Yeah, sedition. Yeah, because I think of treason we have had with the spying and all that. But anyways, I thought it was the penalty for treason was death, and if so, then it's us. It's up to us people, the people, us the people, to freaking enact it. But we best have an entire government on standby.
Entire government on standby?
Pretty much, because by all accounts, everyone, even down to local.
Yeah, just to clear this up. Article 5, Section 3. Wow. Treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless of the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. Not confession to a police officer or law enforcement, confession in open court. That's very specific.
So can we say basically all of our government has committed treason then, or no?
I'll testify. I'm a person of sound character, moral background, and an upstanding citizen in his community.
Well, I'm sorry, that was Article 3. I was reading wrong. Article 3, Section 3.
Hang on a second. Oh, Article 3, Section 3.
Yeah, it's in the judicial branch powers.
Yeah, I'd be a good witness because I can tell a guilty person just by looking at them.
Your kids can attest to that, right?
The Jets lost to the Browns. That's hilarious. Sorry.
Hey, it's been suggested, though. A couple people suggested taking the U.S. Marshals in, removing everybody out of the FBI, and having I guess the military would have to go in and fill the void there that's created to get the records and all that there. But boy, that'd be man. You talk about a diversion. Holy cow, man! They could invade Russia with that going on. Nobody would be covering it. Everybody be worrying about the Trump's called a military coup.
Do we really need to replace the FBI?
Why do we even have the FBI?
Good question, right?
Shouldn't even have them to begin with.
They enforce more unconstitutionalism than they do. The FBI is solely there to protect the government. We've documented it and talked about it so often. The FBI doesn't exist to protect the people. They only prosecute you if you try to do something against the government. That's the only reason they're there, to protect the government.
Do they say they set that dude up again? That fucking 3D printer dude?
That's what the speculation is that he got honey trapped.
Wow.
Right. Just like everybody went into those high-rise buildings, getting drunk, talking about Bundy Ranch, just luring you into a honeypot.
I gotta get out of this county. I'm telling my wife that like we're gonna do this shit really, really soon, and she's telling me she's not ready. I was like, well, you can stay here, and I'll go up there. I'll write you a letter.
Yeah.
Sundays is for writing letters. You do shout outs? You got a lot of people out there.
Oh yeah, the side chat's been fired up all night. They've been laying it down. I don't know if we've had anybody new join us.
I still say I'm reading this over and over again, probably because I'm so tired. It's taking me longer to understand it. But yeah, I'd say most of our government can be charged with treason.
Well, I guess you could say that they're committing act of war against the people. So
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And not only that, but they're also giving aid and comfort to our enemies.
Right, Al Qaeda, ISIS.
Yep, and all the illegals that they're bringing in.
Which branch or whoever are you going to use? Which quote unquote good guys are you going to find in all that mess to go, arrest and round up all these people?
It's called the public square.
The militia should be the constitutional body that does that.
Yep, the public square.
Because somebody said something about the marshals earlier. The marshals is just as fucking corrupt as everybody else.
Yeah, ideally the marshals would be capable, but yeah, I think you're more right that they're part of the problem.
I agree with HD.
The militia is there for enforcing the laws of the republic.
Yeah. Well, it was just one of some commentator on one of the news shows, some lawyer, it may have been Joe DeGeneva, said something about that. And I think crap, I keep thinking of the guy, Greg something on Fox said basically the same thing, that last resort he could send the marshals in with the Marines as a backup. So boy, don't you know that'd make freaking headlines, man. People at CNN would be passing out at the microphone.
I say let the militia handle it, or just the people themselves handle it, like they did in what was it, Athens, Tennessee?
Right.
They didn't wait on the government. They didn't wait on no organized police force. The people themselves fought back, which are the militia, because we the people are the militia. So
that didn't turn out good for the leadership, though, because it seemed like when I went back and did a little research on that, it seemed like the people that were the captains of it, there's a lot of them ended up going to jail and serving long terms.
Really, I gotta relook that up then, because I thought that nobody was found guilty of anything.
There was 2 or 3 or 4 of them that were the lack of a better word, spokesmen that were involved in it. Some of them did some serious time.
Well, you know what? In that case, those people right there would be ones that I would walk up to and say, thank you for your service, because they truly protected the Constitution. Because in the end, even though they went to jail, at least the corrupt powers were done away with, and those votes that were cast by the people were counted. So they did a true service to the people.
So what's the bigger picture though, for some type of globalist to be pulling the strings and handing out money for communists and socialists to I guess grow the party or whatever? I mean, is it just another form of division? Is socialism, communism a real threat? How serious? I guess how serious is it that these fuckers are? These subversives are doing what they're doing behind the scenes. Is it just another something to divide us, or you think it's we got a real commie problem. I think we got a real commie problem, but at the same time, it's still another way to divide us up, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, we definitely have a commie problem. I mean,
I know they hate Donald Trump bad. I mean, boy, they won't agree nothing. If their favorite color used to be blue and Trump's favorite color is blue, they hate blue.
They hate blue.
You know, just anything, dude. They won't agree on anything that's along the line of Trump. It's just.
Hey, looks like there's a shooting by your international airport. It's just popped up on Twitter. It looks like it's 2 hours old.
Well, if we had a real, if we had a real commie problem, I mean, wouldn't people be way more serious about this shit or what?
No, because they've been taught to be touchy-feely about the whole thing. You know?
I mean,
everybody's been taught that commies are the boogeyman. They don't really exist. I mean, everybody derided McCarthy, but McCarthy was right, and we're 50 years past that.
I mean, I hear the word commies, you know, or communists or socialists, or I think of commies, and I think of things I can't say on the internet. You know what I mean? So I don't know where everybody else in America stands on, you know. In fact, I'm trying to work this out. I want to start selling some bumper stickers on the channel. Die commie scum bumper sticker.
I need two of them ASAP.
Yeah, I need to get those done. I'm just gonna order them, maybe off some third party or something, and sell them. See how it goes. But yeah, man, I guess it's just what it is. Though there's no action anyways. It's everything is inaction. You know, the people that are watching the government grow and get more and more out of control, and then say Trump is a good guy, right? And there's some good guys. There's some good politicians. I'm just saying we're talking mechanics, but just say he is. Okay, well, if he is, then he's arrested, motherfuckers. Somebody's going to jail. I've already been saying this for 2 years. Nobody's went to jail. I don't even understand why Hillary didn't go to jail, but say I give you that one. All right, she's too big a fish to fucking fry. Nobody else has went to jail. Not fucking, I mean, you're telling me Chuck Schumer, Feinstein, all the loonies, all these fucking guys, you're telling me they're all squeaky clean and Trump couldn't find not one politician to throw into jail since he's been president? It's just crazy. It's fucking crazy. So
no, but they threw 2 or 3 or 4 people that was in his campaign in jail.
And that's the thing. They're so entrenched that I don't know. I mean, maybe he realizes, maybe he does know. I mean, he's got to know what time it is. He's got to know that. I mean, he'd literally have to go he'd have to go straight fascist and just start locking everybody. He just had to, it'd be a train of politicians being led to the gallows, you know? Fuck being tried or anything like that. Straight to death.
Straight to death.
But I mean, then you'd be like, fuck yeah, this president's playing 4D chess here. Yeah. I haven't seen no chess moves, you know. And that QAnon's thing going on, that's like the weirdest thing to me ever. It's like,
yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. We don't believe any of that. I mean,
yeah, it's like people so desperate for there to be like, I don't know, some resistance within the government. Come on.
Well, there might be some resistance in the government, but it's not capable of doing that.
Yeah, to me, I figure it to be like the cops, like, you know, your cop buddy's doing some bad shit, but you don't want to fucking break your little blue oath, so you just fucking shut up and you don't say nothing. You know what I mean?
Which makes you
That's
just
the way
as guilty.
Exactly. But the benefits, you know, the 401k is great.
The power. I agree with Tone on that one.
So I don't know, man. I plan to kind of get the fuck out of Dodge in the next year or so, because I don't see how you got people out in the open saying, "Hey, this is what we're doing," you know. And the worst that might happen is they lose their job. That's the worst. I mean, if that was you or me, we'd be fucking gunned down on a snowy fucking state route somewhere. If we were the resistance, us guys right here, if we were the resistance, trust me, we'd all be dead on a snowy fucking state route somewhere.
All right.
Or burned alive in your home, or burned alive in a cabin, or burned alive in a church.
Or just shot your dog and your kids.
Or shot your kids and your dog. I mean, the dog. How are you going to kill somebody's dog, man? That's foul.
They love killing dogs, though. I don't know why.
I know they do. That's so foul, man. I hate that.
You know why? Because that dog's going to go for that motherfucker.
Yeah, but it pisses me off, man. That shit pisses me off. It's one thing to mess with a man, but with his dog, too? Damn.
You know, that whole thing about shooting his dog, it wasn't even because they were in fear for their life. They were just because they had been found out.
Yeah, the dog found them out.
Just barked at him.
Yep.
They shot it.
They shot the dog.
They thought they were in some war zone somewhere instead of in America.
Yep. It's a damn shame. Oh, real quick before I forget, I watched this movie the other day. I'm almost done watching it, called A Sniper's War. It's southeast Ukraine, I think in Donetsk. And the Donetsk People's Republic, DPR. And of course it's in Russian and Ukrainian, but they do have English subtitles. But man, if anybody out there or on the panel gets a chance to watch that, The Sniper's War, it's a really good movie to watch. It's a documentary. It's not a movie, but it's a documentary about what's going on over there and how they talk about the U.S. involvement and what their feelings are of the United States and NATO and what we're doing around the world. So, interesting.
Didn't the Russians just have some huge war games that they just got finished with?
Yeah, with China.
No, I thought it was just them that did something just a little bit ago.
It was the biggest one they've had so far, I think, not only for them, but also for China. China was invited for the first time, and just the two of them or some shit. But yeah, it was supposed to be their biggest one up to date. I mean, come on, man, with everything that's going on in Ukraine, and then you got, like I said earlier, with, Israel talking shit to them and everything. Can't blame them for preparing. They see what's going on.
Well, I know one thing.
We're getting.
I'm on a prepping plus. I'm gonna get that land handled. It'll be fucking knocked out. I said pick another piece and go from there. But as far as like getting shit ready and everything like that, dude, I think I'm doing more now, and I bought better stuff now that Trump's been president than the whole Obama years. I remember the Obama years was like beans and rice, but now I'm getting a little collection. But I'm also aiming for like old shit, like old stuff. I don't know, how older stuff, it just fucking lasts forever, So I've been aiming, kind of like getting some good different things that are, you know, prepping items or whatever, but getting my hands on some old shit. And I even got some ideas for some other things I want to do. But you go on Craigslist, man, people are practically almost giving a lot of shit away, you know? When it comes to the land, there's so much shit on there. People are giving away in the free section that you can do stuff with. So just prepping, man. Fucking prepping while.
Be on the lookout for pallet.
Yeah. I mean, prepping in the whole time these fools are conspiring and the government's still playing their fucking game and the people are still playing into it. And we're still playing our game, which is fucking prepping and getting ready for them to fucking do whatever the fuck they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, but communists are going to come door to door.
I wonder, you know, that right there just brought a weird little idea up in my head. I wonder if the three people that were in that video, the Muhaj guy and the little Democratic Socialist girl and all, I wonder if they're prepping. I wonder if they're putting anything up for the hard times. Or in their mind is every day cookies and nuts, you know.
Well, yeah, that would be a real resistance.
Yeah, every day is a vacation, every weekend's a holiday type people.
Yeah, because if they think that them just being a disruptive, subversive fuck is like some type of resistance, like, you know, I don't know. Sometime when I was, I mean, the little bit that I watched, like they talk about like basically getting in the way, not really stopping anything, but slowing shit down, you know? So, I mean, what kind of resistance are these motherfuckers? Are they the kind that just, you know, maybe fuck some shit up and get in the way? Or do they got fucking preps put away? Are they ready to fucking, you know, are they really living that resistance life?
Right. Or are they, you know, because they're supposedly in the anti, you know, do away with the second, no guns, nobody needs guns but police, and they really don't need them, just give them sticks type people.
I feel like everybody Veritas has busted has all been in that gay ass cafe wherever they're at drinking coffee. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know where they're at. It seems like it's the same fucking place. Everybody gets set up. You know, they stay honeypot everybody at Starbucks. They just stand around Starbucks just waiting for people to fucking do Veritas videos on. That's where all the fag socialists hang.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking in the back of my mind that they're not really preppers. They probably don't have enough to go 3 days before they're going to have to go get cat food, you know.
Cat food. Right.
But he's a Siberian house cat. I paid $1,000 for him. I have papers.
I paid $1,000 for that cat.
I have papers. Yeah, man.
Somebody probably needs to write her a memo to tell her she may need to save that kitty litter because she might have to use it herself.
Yeah, not enough people care, you know, like everybody's fucking just doesn't care. They're desensitized or whatever, but whatever news drops that you think will maybe shock somebody doesn't. I mean, think about it. It doesn't even shock us because, I mean, we know how corrupt everything is. So obvious. It's not as.
And I think that's part of it with all these leaks that are going on and all these, you know, Senate hearings and people being questioned. I think a lot of it also serves that purpose, which is it desensitizes the people. People are tired of it. You know, they work all day, whatever. They come home, they turn on the news for background noise. They don't give a crap about anything. You know, they just want to do what little they can and what little time they have left before they got to go to bed and go to work. And they hear the same shit day in and day out. And it gets to the point where they don't care. Oh, another politician busted. Who cares? Another celebrity busted. Who cares? And it serves a point because it just really gets people to just look the other way, to think that that's the norm, that it's the norm to get screwed over by government, that it's a norm to have these sick people in power. So it desensitizes the population.
Everybody, but people are very vindictive though too. They like to see I mean, think about it. You're usually on the rooting side of the government, or you know, you're pissed off at what the government did, or the state. We'll just say the state. You know, so you're either like this vindictive fuck, like Blue Lives Matters fuck, saying good shoot, yeah, good shoot, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or you're like this fucking socialist communist that's fucking, you know, praising the dude that runs around and guns cops down or kills Whitey or whatever, you know, gets back at Whitey, you know. So it's like whatever the news is, I guess, that could be bad, usually somebody's rooting. That's how, I guess that's how our country is now. Somebody's rooting in a vindictive way for that fucking, you know, well, that guy's taking it and I'm glad, you know. Oh, there's really resistance and socialists in the government. Well, I hate Trump, so fuck yeah, you know. And then
But
the Trump.
And then yeah, the state is falling for the same thing, because with the same story, you know, with these people being busted, the staters will look and be like, oh great, they're draining the swamp, you know, go Trump, go America. And you know, so the staters do the same exact thing.
Yeah, nothing's being done. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it's I don't know. The worst thing is those are the fuckers wearing those fucking grunt style t-shirts that say Patriot on the front. That's gotta be the worst t-shirt somebody ever fucking made.
Nah, the Blue Lives Matter is still worse.
Like, you know, I don't know, man.
That's why I always say, which one is worse, the statists or the communists? I look at them both equally evil, so.
Yeah, just a different route to the same place, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the real struggle. That's where we're really in a pickle here, because too many people think that if the government's ran by the right people, that we'll be able to have freedom and peace and prosperity, when it's been proven that that's not the case.
Or that there's any justice in, say, these guys being exposed. I mean, just them being exposed, they'll fucking be on the Ellen show and write a book and fucking make a bunch of money off of it in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're not exposed and then prosecuted to the full extent of the law, you know? I mean, there's subversive groups all throughout this country. I mean, Nevada, especially down here, Southern Nevada, they're everywhere. And they're the La Razas, the La Raza groups, and the this, that, and the other for illegal immigrant rights foundations, and all these just different, totally just groups supported, or, you know, I mean, full of subversives and supported by who the fuck knows who. I mean, I don't know where the fuck this money's coming from to have all these groups that are out and out, you know, subversive groups, you know, in breach of the Constitution. Where the fuck is this money coming from? How are these groups everywhere? How is it that nobody gives a fuck?
Because we allow it, because people that know what's going on, because people that are against it, because people that stand up and believe in the Constitution, because we allow it for whatever reason, whether it be wanting to take the moral high ground, whether it be because of religious restraint, or whether it be because of fear, or just not wanting to get involved. It doesn't matter, because we allow it. That's why bad things happen when good people allow it to.
You have people with fucking anti-Trump t-shirts on running the polling at the polling places during the presidential election. You know? I mean, I heard the one in Philadelphia, what was it, however many years ago, where they had the Black Panthers out front of the fucking voting booths. Like,
Yeah, wasn't that during Obama? The last Obama election?
I mean, this kind of stuff, the fact that, I mean, the fact that it happens, am I shocked? No, but I'm shocked that nobody cares. Like, it could basically be like they've always said, Hillary could say she sacrificed a baby and this, that, and the other, and nobody would even budge. You know what I mean? And that's so true. Anything could come out about any of these motherfuckers, and they probably don't even have to whack people like they did back in the day. Back in the day, they had to whack people to keep the shit quiet. Now, if something comes out, nobody gives a fuck because everybody's lazy as fuck or has some vindictive agenda where they're cheering the state in some way. You know what I mean? So you don't have nobody angry that's going to fucking stand up and say enough's enough. You don't have a group of people that are going to fucking say enough's enough and then go do something about it, take an action like that. You know, you don't have a group of people that are going to take a hard stand, so to say. It's not going to happen.
I'll give you guys an example, and this is way off topic, but is an example of the herd mentality. One thing I can't stand is when you have these young people on dirt bikes and quads. They take over the streets and they go in a pack, right? They're in a big group. The cops don't mess with them. The cops will literally actually block the intersections so these idiots can keep going. And, you know, they're popping wheelies and whatnot. And I'm sure most of y'all have heard of that or seen it on YouTube, on the news. And it's real big down here. And a few weeks ago, I was in Miami on a Saturday night. And sure enough, these guys came running between traffic, and I was at the front of the line at the light, and they're saying they're doing their stunts, and you got the rear guard holding traffic behind below the speed limit in case the ones in the front doing tricks or whatever fall down, they don't get run over. And I look around, and I see everybody just hanging back, and I'm like, man, I got to get home. I don't feel well. Screw this shit. I gunned it. So, you know, I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, by the way, if these guys get next to the car, they're going to try to break one of the mirrors off or kick the car. And when they do, I'm going to run them off the road. So just be ready. She's like, you know, because I wasn't playing. And she's like, all right, that's whatever, you know, it's up to you. And I went after them. And the ones in the rear kept telling me, like, back off. And I'm giving them the finger, like, screw you, gunning it and going after them. And I kept pushing them. And before you know it, they're actually going over the speed limit. They took off. They ended up taking off. But the thing is that while I'm doing this, there's no traffic behind me. But then when the guys behind me saw that the riders were backing off and actually afraid of getting run over, then they started coming up. And then next thing you know, all 4 lanes on US 1 are sitting there, you know, with people coming up like, you know, y'all get the hell off of the road. And they ended up taking off and they left. They didn't mess with my car. They didn't come after me or nothing. But moral of the story is, again, you know, everybody's afraid and everybody's waiting for one person to stand up. But without one person or a group of people standing up, nobody wants to get involved. And that, again, I saw it that night. I wasn't expecting anybody else to back me up. I was just being me, an asshole. Okay, I can't stand those stupid idiots that do that shit. But again, it was just funny to see how when I did it and they started backing down, then everybody comes up like, oh, yeah, we'll do the same thing. So, yeah.
I feel like, you know, the people that would have done something or whatever, the people, say the militia, say the 3%ers and all that, after what happened, 4 years ago now, it's like taboo again. It's not like it was before all that shit happened. Remember, I mean, everybody was fucking talking about making up their own militia, and everybody was a 3%er, this, that, and the other. Then Bundy Ranch happened. Everybody was even more proud, you know. And then Lavoy Finicum happened, and that, and then all the conspiracy charges started coming out, and everybody fucking went back into the dark. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know what. I think it's very taboo again, you know. For one, well, nobody want to fucking rot in a prison cell, you know, obviously. But how many of those types are there, you know? And even then, I always told you they'll argue on where the time, the place, and everything is. You know, it won't. I don't know if it'll happen organic. Somebody's gonna stand up and then everybody's gonna fucking be like, "Fuck yeah, this guy knows what's up," and the fucking spot he picked is good, and this is a good time, and the weather's great right now. The precipitation in the air's not too high. You know, I don't know. I see everything different since 4 years ago, you know?
Oh, for sure.
I see everything different since 25 years ago.
Well, I mean, you go through different things, though. I mean, I seen 4 years ago, I saw it different than I saw it 4 years before that. You know what I mean? My shit is always changing, but I don't know. So when you think about how I always said it, right? When the government was trying to when they brought me up in the room and did the fake documentary crew and they were following me around and everything like that. I always said it at the time. I was making like 11.50. I might have been making $12. I don't even think I was making $12, but I was making 11 something. I was making YouTube videos, you know? So like, I'm fucking nobody besides a motherfucker that has to go to work and work for fucking peanuts. And yet these motherfuckers have endless resources and endless time and that kind of energy. There's no way you can match that energy. You know what I mean? There's no fucking way. Even if I make more money now, the time, the energy, and the resources and everything that they fucking have is endless against little old you. I mean, and if you think you're gonna fucking come up with some group that's not infiltrated, you're fucking, I don't know, watching too much cable TV.
Well, they say all the, or I don't know, may have been rumor. They said all the Oath Keeper meetings that you can just about guarantee somebody in there at an Oath Keeper meeting is working for the feds by hook or crook. Now I don't know where they are everywhere, but
don't you think the weird thing about the Oath Keepers in the first place is that they were all ex-cops and fucking, you know what I mean? Like for the most part, they were all ex-law enforcement.
Well, that's the thing though, dude. I mean, you know, this is just from what I see and from the places I go and what I look at, a lot of people are I don't even know if this is a word, militiatized, where they've got a lot of individuals now have bought a lot of stuff, dude. More people now's got ARs, more people's got kit, more people's got a bug out bag, first aid kit, IPAC, blah, 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 Camelback and all that now than I think probably has been ever. But they're just not organized. Everybody is kitted out individually, but they won't organize. But I'm not saying that won't happen. And
you'll get the affiliation. You get they'll start fucking.
That's the reason.
They'll start throwing RICO statutes at you.
That's the reason people are staying broken up. And when they do get together, it's not in a formation setting or you know, you're not organized into squads or whatever.
And because of who? Because of what? I don't know, maybe the Oklahoma bombing, the Mora building. That's why people are afraid to organize. That's why people are afraid to get together because of that.
I mean, that and what all just happened at Bundy Ranch. And I mean, it's fresh in everybody's minds right now. If it was that far back in the 90s, that's why people started getting so gutsy, is because it had been a while. It had been a long time. And the government, what'd they do? They fucking snapped that whip and fucking snapped everybody back into shape again.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of gear. There's a lot of gear still being sold now, even with, you know, the comfort level, people with their comfort level that, you know, QAnon's going to save us and Trump's going to catch a slack where they don't save us, you know, that they're a lot of people slacked off, but I'm still seeing a lot of gear selling, a lot of stuff, high dollar stuff.
No, I think that most motherfuckers are like me and you, like us in here, still buying shit. It still makes sense to never stop buying shit and getting more shit.
But you know better than fucking, oh, fucking Joe Schmo wants to meet you because he saw you on fucking YouTube and he wants to go fucking talk, 3%er talk or whatever, like some of the shit is retarded. Some of the messages I get, I don't even check messages anymore.
Exactly. And it's when you organize or associate, oh, that's conspiracy, y'all, or not conspiracy, but, y'all were organized and this, that, and the other. No.
Didn't they get the dude out of Connecticut? They got him because he was training people to shoot at Bundy Ranch. Like maybe he was like the range master over there at Bundy Ranch, right? There was
they threatened those two photographers with get you for intent. Well, I didn't do anything, no, but you intended to. And
all those BLM officers and all them FBI agents, all of them fools that participated in that all had malicious intent against Americans. They all had malicious intents. They all would have been fine with pulling the trigger and killing Cliven Bundy and his whole family. They would have been fine with killing LaVoy and everybody that was in that vehicle.
I just want to say something real quick as far as like the gear and weapons being sold and whatnot, but especially gear.
Now, I don't know who's buying it. I didn't say the militia was buying it, but I say there's a lot being sold. I'm sure the public is consuming a lot of it.
Yeah, the public, I think, is definitely consuming a lot. I wish it was more for the right reasons. I could be wrong, but I know a lot of it has to do with airsoft is really big. Gaming is really big. So, of course, people are so much into video games. They want to look the part. And even gun enthusiasts. Again, I personally know people who go out there and have all these guns and gears and, like you said, IFAKs, everything. And, hell, they even have the ballistic helmets. And I want to look like an SF guy. But when shit hit the fan, would I even count on that person to watch my back for 2 minutes? Hell no. I wouldn't even want them behind me. No. So people have the wallets, but they don't have the heart.
I know one of those motherfuckers got night vision. He's got all this shit. It's a big old fucking fat motherfucker. And that fool. In fact, when I told him that the TV and shit, the Samsungs were fucking watching him and that the feds were, were watching people, and it even came out, the NSA shit. I was like, it even came out. It's like fucking way old news. He's like, nah, that shit's all bullshit. I'm like, well, what the fuck you got night vision and all and a plate carrier and all this shit for? Like, like it doesn't even make sense.
Well, they got it all, so like that, when they go and jump on the bus, I can go by and pick it up.
Well, it's not illegal. The last time I checked, it's not illegal to own it.
Nope.
Unless they try to label you. Put a label on you. Oh, you're this, you're that. It's not illegal to own it. And if it's not illegal to own it, I would advise you gather up what you could of it before they make it illegal. Because Bill Clinton talked about doing that. He was going to do away with all sales of all military surplus to the civilian market.
Well, how many times have they said they were going to go after body armor, ballistic armor? They've been talking about that for decades. They want to try to ban that stuff.
Well, it is banned in some places. I mean, I think there's
all the gay states.
Yeah, it is. It is. They have banned it in some places.
Yep.
It's all the gay states. California, fucking New Jersey, and fucking all them other gay ass places that I don't know why people live there.
I know that guy in California, I don't know whether he's still on whether he was a congressman or representative, old Mike Honda, he's still jumping up and down about that. He's the one that put that bill out to try to.
Probably. Here.
But there is a lot of it being bought. It may be airsoft people. It may be being bought by people and put in boxes and sent overseas. I'm sure some of it probably is. You don't know where it all goes, but I know there's a lot of it still moving. It hadn't slowed down.
Yeah, it's
like tourniquets, for example. Dude, you wouldn't believe the amount of tourniquets that's been sold.
What were we talking about the other day, Saints? We're talking about stuff being bought, ARs being sent overseas.
25% of all of them that were sold in the U.S. were ARs.
They were going overseas.
Oh, yeah, going overseas. Yeah, now I don't know about that.
no. He's saying was talking about how high the sales of ARs have gone up. What was it, 25%? You just said it. Of all firearm sales were ARs.
Yeah, we were talking about a couple chats ago, though. We were talking about that and about how so much stuff was probably siphoning off to go other countries.
Right, I'm sure they are. They're getting what they can. I mean, if they can actually move it around the world, and because they go from all over the place to get to the destination there, remail it, repackage it, whatever.
Well, it's got to be resistance fighters because it can't be organized terrorist cells because we know they get direct, like ISIS showing up with like a whole convoy of brand new Toyota pickups,
Well,
so
they get that shit.
That shit ain't local. That's being provided by a government right there, regime.
Yeah, they're not
right
buying
there.
that off. Yeah, they're not getting that off Amazon and eBay and
They might have Amazon Prime. You never know.
Well, they may be. Yeah, they may have a direct deal.
Hey, Bezos got a lot of bread. You never know. He might have it might not get delivered. They might have to come into town. You seen those yellow box? Well, I know you probably ain't got them out there, Saints, but we got yellow lockers. And I guess you order something from Amazon and it goes into that locker, and then you go pick it up out of that locker. It's the craziest thing. So maybe ISIS just goes into town and picks up their package.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what Stephen Paddock's job is, but he got found out.
Yeah. What I'm talking about individually is just say belts, military belts. Dude, they're even used, half worn out, is still 10, 12, 14 people looking at it. Everything, and it all sells. Unless it's priced just to the moon, somebody's going to buy it.
Well, I don't know, man. eBay's fucking popping right now, man. I mean, everybody knows, and I even turn people on to eBay that aren't already over there. Fucking Saints turned me on. I had heard about it forever, never wanted to mess with it. Now I know if I fucking want whatever, dude. I mean, if I want an old cassette tape, because I got this fucking Jeep and it's got a cassette player in it, I just go on eBay and I just go grab me a cassette tape. But luckily for me, my dad has boxes and boxes of cassette tapes, so I don't gotta do that. But
so you listen to your dad's old cassette tapes?
Be jamming out on some Les Claypool.
So what are you listening to? I gotta hear this.
No, his shit's all from Germany when he was in the army, so his shit's all classic rock, back in the 70s and 80s and shit.
So you're jamming to Boston 38 Special?
He's got a good stash. He's got a good stash. I'd always listen to his shit even growing up. When I was growing up, he had fucking everything. When I think about it now, in the grand scheme of things.
That's pretty funny.
All the Van Halen, Zeppelin, all the good classic stuff.
Tapes are making a comeback.
I was telling him the other night how much I fucking hate Hagar.
Van Hagar?
I was like, because we were out there in the boonies and we had some music come on and one of the Van Halens with Sammy in it. I was like, fucking hate Sammy Hagar.
It wasn't that bad.
I hate Sammy Hagar. I can't stand him. I'm not gonna say he can't sing, but I'm just saying I don't fucking like him.
I like him better than David.
I like Dave.
No way, man. I think like when he made OU 812, in my opinion, that's one of Van Halen's best albums.
Can't diss so fucking Dave.
He's a classic, but I'm sorry, man. I didn't think Van Halen downgraded when they went to Sammy's voice.
It's just the style of music changed so much that it's just different. I mean, music is music. People are never going to be happy. They're always going to have their favorites, you know.
Yeah, they just went too mainstream, though. They went too mainstream with them.
It's still, you know, in the grand scheme of things, though, like it's still really, really good compared to what the fuck. I don't know. I kept talking about the other day when we were out there in the boonies. You couldn't tell, like, if we all just tossed our cell phones in the truck and just left the cell phones in the vehicle, you would think we were at least back in the 90s at the very, you know, earliest or latest. Just, you know, and especially when you got some fucking old jams on it like that, and then doing some old school shit like hanging out with your family, barbecue. We were barbecuing, we did some fishing, and you know, all that kind of shit like that. It's like, hell yeah. And then Sunday, Monday, you got to drive back into town and you get service on your phone and you fucking got to work on, I had to go back on Tuesday. It's like, fuck, dude, you come back to this, you know? And I'm like purposely like not even looking at the news or even paying attention to the bullshit anymore. It's a drain on my batteries, man. Big time. But I'm not dumb. I ain't stopped buying shit. I didn't say I would stop buying shit. You know? But the only reviews I'm gonna be doing is like fishing pole reviews and stuff like that.
Hey, I ain't quit buying stuff, dude. I bought a case of freaking sweet and sour pork with rice, Mountain House, today. Portable food.
Yeah.
It's good though. Good till 2047.
What does it hurt to keep buying shit? I mean,
well, groceries just gonna keep. Food's just gonna keep going up and up and up. I mean, I
know like way dumber stuff that people waste their money on with no return, no value, no long term, you know, anything. Check it out. You know the new iPhone came out, right? I think the newest iPhone with the big joint with the fucking big memory and all that, it's got to be like $1,300 or something. I have to look at the price exactly. It may be 100 over, 100 less, but my point is that you're gonna spend that money, and a lot of people will. And it doesn't even have to be the iPhone. It could be some other dumb fucking device or just another brand, whatever. But you take that, and then by next November, it's already obsolete because the newest one for another $100 extra is coming out, and it's a fucking never-ending cycle. And why the fuck do we all have cell phones now? And not only why the fuck do we all have cell phones? Why the fuck are they all smartphone, dumbass bullshit? Why? How does a phone bill go from just being a text and a talk or whatever, what does that cost? 10, 15, 20 bucks to being, I won't even tell you how much my phone bill is for four phones. It's fucking stupid. It's a utility bill.
Right.
Makes no sense, you know? So I think about that kind of shit being out there and everything. I don't know.
Instant access, you know? It's all about that instant gratification type thing, you know?
But it's an addiction, though, right? I mean, you don't need it. What's going to happen if you drop off the face of the planet? I mean, are you going to drop off the face of the planet because you have a text and talk, like a little flip phone or something? Do you drop out of the whole fucking, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't be able to do. I wouldn't be able to do live chats at lunch. I know that.
I know, but I think I've been trying to break this down to my girl. It's like, all the money that we're spending for fucking rent, the phones, you know, power, and then she has a vehicle she pays on. My vehicle's paid in cash, but those couple of things or whatever, especially since rent is skyrocketing, it's fucking out of control out here. They're talking about the Raiders could be here next year, playing in Sam Boyd, possibly.
Oh,
They're fucking losing their minds, dude. Everything is just, you know, and what do? You move to a shittier part of town for cheaper. It's still going to be a lot, but I mean, I don't know, man. How can I keep fucking doing what I do as far as I work and I make a okay amount of money and everything like that and keep paying into this stupid shit? Like the part, I got a nice place. I'm not ever going to fucking own this thing. A phone bill for some stupid fucking phone we just talk about how stupid it is, you know? You're fucking you're putting a fucking government tracking device in your fucking pocket, and then you're paying a bill to have that device on, you know what I mean, on, and all this luxury. So just cutting those out. Can I cut those out? Can I cut fucking this nice luxury apartment out? And can I cut out and not have a fucking smart device, I guess?
Well, yeah, you have to make a choice. That's the whole thing. You have to choose. I mean, they've made it nearly impossible not to be tied into the grid. Nearly, not 100%, but nearly impossible. But you have to make a choice on how much you want to be a part of it. For like, you know, you guys already know, for example, I don't watch TV. My family's watching the background. That's one thing, but I don't watch TV. I don't have internet where I live. I don't own a computer. All I use is my phone. And even that, I use it for YouTube, looking up certain stuff online. That's it. I'm not going to go and I don't use social media, Facebook, G+. I'll post some stuff. If I get a message from somebody, that's it. But I'm not into the Twitter thing, the Instagram, I think it's called, or whatever. So, yeah.
Can you and your family function, say, you know, you kids, husband and wife, can you function without being tied into that bullshit? Could you be, you know, your kids are going to go to school and, you know, they got flip phones, but meanwhile their friends got fucking iPhone 10s or whatever. You know what I mean?
Then that's called raising your child properly and letting them know that materialism is not God.
I understand. I fucking understand. But, you know what I mean? There's no way that you could fucking do that and have, I don't know, have your wife and your kids totally on board. I mean, I got a lot of yeahs in my house. A lot of yeah. You know what I mean? I tell my girl, I say, you're not even fucking listening. You know? That shit is dire. Like, this shit is real. I'm not just, you know, wasting my breath here.
Dude, life is too easy. It's easy. It's comfortable here. The air conditioning's working. Have something to eat. Sit down. Rest a spell. Man.
But we come full circle with that in everything that we talk about, every subject you can bring up. It's all comes full circle and comes right back around on the fact that everybody is just a docile fucking zombie. Everybody is just standing while time is fucking passing all of us because everybody is buried in technology. And if you're not buried in technology, you somehow dropped off the planet and fucking are living back in the 80s or the 90s or whatever. And I mean,
but that's where you have to be a principled man, though, Tony. That's where you got to take charge. And
I think I could do it because I've been principled in other shit. I think I could do it.
Then that's what you need to do. And then, like, if you, like you said, your wife and your kids, they're like, yeah, whatever, Dad. They don't want to hear it. But as the head of the house, that's where you need to put your foot down and say, no, this is how it's going to be. And again, you are the head of the household.
Yeah, but what do you what do you I guess what do? You get a newspaper? You get your newspaper delivered. I guess that'll work. How much does I never really got the newspaper and shit. Does it get your blood pressure up like YouTube
Oh, because you actually have to read, and it takes more
and
effort.
Twitter? So it's not like Twitter. It doesn't make me want to reach through the screen and
Right.
strike somebody.
Yeah, but Tony, you can be selective about what you look at. For example, like I told you guys, that's why this year I done changed how much I was online because of that, because it was getting my blood pressure up and I was just getting sick and tired of everything. And I just said, that's it, I'm done. I mean, unless it's something big worldwide that can affect, you know, literally shit hitting the fan big time, unless it's at that scope, I don't care. I'm not going to bother getting involved in politics. I'm not going to bother getting involved with the local faggots wanting to share the same bathroom and everything. Now, you know what? If I got to use a restroom and it's a freaking multi-gender, bisexual thing, whatever, I'll go piss in the back of the store and come right back in. I don't care. I'm not going to be part of the system. So again, the choice is yours. You choose how involved you want to get and how involved you want to be.
You got bikes and nugs out there.
A bike showed up. Hey, what's up, bikes? You got a link if you want to come in. Or not.
I guess I was just throwing it out there like rhetorically, you know, like I'm not at this point when I'm on here, I'm not really actually looking for advice or anything like that. I kind of have, you know, I have I'm stubborn as fuck. So I have my plan. I have my idea of how I want things to go and what I'm going to do and what I plan to do and everything like that. So I guess when I'm out here floating shit around, I'm just kind of for the conversation of the chat, but I'm stubborn, bro. I got like a 5-year deal here going on. I'm ready.
Do it, dude. Even if you have to do it by yourself. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, that you're not off blown by yourself, but you know, you're still a family. Yeah, well, you're a family unit, but you may have to step out of bounds and do above and beyond to achieve what you're looking for. If they don't really want to, you know, row the boat, so to say, you know.
Well, I know one thing that I'm being realistic that there's not going to be no total detachment from the city for like at least maybe 4 to 5 years. You know what I mean? Even when I get the land set up and I get some way to, you know, some type of structure built on it where I could live on it and everything like that, I'm still going to be driving from the land into the city, you know, to work and then coming home. You know, I mean, I can't think that I'm going to overnight I'm gonna fucking order up I'm gonna Amazon Prime some fucking animals over and some seeds and fucking get my shit going, you know. So I know it's gonna take a little bit and I'm still gonna be tied to the city a bit, you know.
Well, 4 or 5 years you can chip away at it. You can show pretty good progress in 4 or 5 years if you're dedicated and stay at it, you know. Try to at least pull 1 weekend or 2 weekends a month out there anyway, you know, unless it's something really critical. And
well, that's why I started breaking down where all my waste is going. That's what I started breaking down, and I started thinking about the phone and the fact like I'm paying rent in a place that I'm never gonna own, and it's money that I might as well just set on fire on Friday. You know what I mean? And I can count on every 2 weeks when I get paid that fucking on Friday I can light this amount of money on fire, you know, because that's what it is, because there's nothing behind it. There's nothing to show for it when it's all said and done. You pay your fucking phone. You got your fucking iPhone 10 and in a year, next year, it's outdated and everybody else has the new phone because they got the plan or whatever. You know what I mean? All of it. It's just money that you're fucking just wasting. And that money, that's a fucking fence around your property. That's, you know, a structure on your property. That's, you know, irrigation. You know, that's, you know, feed. That's solar panels. That's, I mean, I have a list, you know, of, you know, just shit that I'm trying to think of, you know, where to start. I have a good idea talking to you guys where to start and stuff like that, but I really started thinking about where the fuck the waste is going. And the waste is on at least two things for sure that are unnecessary, way unnecessary.
That's the way I look at it. Like $350, that's a quarter mile of fence. You know, 4 330-foot rows of field fence. So it's about $125 to $150 a row. You know, $600.
Or your $300. Just say throw a little average, $300 give or take car payment plus your say $100 give or take insurance for that vehicle plus the gas and the little maintenance fees on it. You know, each month, every month you got that car note, you got the insurance, you got the gas and whatever. You know, of course you always got to pay for gas, but if you don't got that car note. Every month, that fucking $300, you know, you still have to get insurance, but every month that $300 turns into taking care of that vehicle you have. Or, you know, if you maintain your stuff, that car payment's going towards anything but a car payment, you know?
Right. Instead of dropping, man, like on a, you know, $500 a month on a fancy truck. Holy cow, man.
And you see it, you know, like you see it, like you're going to see that fence for fucking ever till somebody fucking runs it over when they're drunk or the BLM comes and seizes your land. You know, that fence will be there. You know, you're going to look at it, you're going to be like, damn, there's my $300 sitting right there, you know, or what?
You're fencing in, you're putting boundaries on what you consider to be yours. You know, this is mine. If you're inside the fence, you know, you're subject to be questioned. And if you're hostile, you're subject to be shot. So that fence right there was the line. You know, when you came over here.
And it wasn't no Obama red line in the sand type of deal. It was an actual line.
No, that's right.
Hey, Tony, why didn't you go see your boy Trump tonight?
These motherfuckers at work were making fun of me and shit, telling me, you're going to be there, right? I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I've been driving up back and forth to Utah and fucking working all these hours. And this is, I took 4 days off last week after going hella days straight. And tonight, I just chilling, man. I'm just going to chill. And I definitely don't want to be around a bunch of them motherfuckers. I mean,
right? They're worse than us, right?
I mean, no, it's just Trump people are just right now, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know about Trump people right now. Just don't know what they're doing. They're all statists.
Speaking of Trump people, we got bikes in here now, it looks like.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, they're all just like statists.
Fuck you, man.
I'm like an angel.
Bunch of collapsitarians. What's happening?
That's right. We are a bunch of collapsitarians. We just didn't know it yet. I'm glad you could check in on us.
Hey, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.
You can call the NSA and tell mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Where'd Angel go? He bounced or what?
He tapped out.
He didn't check out either. I guess he just dropped.
Yeah, I think he might have got knocked out. Because he just boop.
Yeah. Well, you guys are on late, huh?
It's not that late. It's just now 11.
Yeah, it's only 2300. Yeah.
Yeah. Not terrible. Not terrible. So, did you catch any of the Collapsitarian talk?
No, actually, no, I didn't. I just, like I said, right when I said good evening out there in the chat, that's when I tuned in. I was a little busy earlier.
Right, right.
My brother, he sold his house in Colorado finally, and he's got his wife down in northern Arkansas looking at 2 houses right now. One he definitely wants. It's on 27 acres. It's pretty nice.
That'd be a score.
Heck yeah. Yep. Big house, got a shop on the property, even has its own cave.
Oh, you were talking about that last night, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, cave, man. I mean, goodness, can't beat that.
Yeah.
There's I know a guy that's got a property at the cave. He keeps his solar battery backup, keep
Yep.
it cool in there, keeps it all temperature controlled.
And the guy that owns the property, he makes custom knives and whatnot. He's got like I said, he's got a shop on the property, so he's got all kinds of machinery and whatnot there. And he uses that cave for exactly that purpose: store fuel, batteries, things like that in it. So pretty cool. About the size of a 2-car garage, maybe a little more.
Well, that's probably good enough.
Yep. My brother's like, "Hey man, that would make a great little bunker." I'm like, "Yeah, man. Yep. Good stuff. I'm stoked for him." Yeah. We're actually thinking about doing the same thing here in the next year or so.
Moving to Colorado?
No. He's moving away from Colorado down into northern Arkansas.
Oh.
Yeah. My sister lives down there now.
What do you think's too much to pay for a military surplus hatchet? What do you think's too much to pay?
$40.
Hatchet?
For a surplus hatchet.
$40 is too much.
$10 is too much.
Yeah.
30. What do you think about $34?
That sounds way too much. I mean, is it well used? Like,
oh, it's brand
still in the
new.
grease. If it's still brand new in the grease, I guess. But I didn't know that they.
Yeah, just under $30 would probably be fair.
It's a Swiss Army hatchet.
$25.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20. $20.
I kind of need a little hatchet like that, man. That thing's fucking sexy. Cause I got my little military surplus. What's it called? Tool.
You can get one of those brand new, not Gerber, but there's another brand that does the survival hatchet thing. It's like $25, brand new at Sportsman's.
Buy you one of them cold steel mega tomahawks, dude. That thing will double as a camp action. You can kill a motherfucker when he gets in there.
Holy crap. Oh,
what about what's too much to pay for a military surplus dry fire sports bra?
Oh, what?
It's a pack of 6 U.S. military surplus New Balance dry fire sports bras. $35 for a pack of 6.
You better ask Water. I don't have no opinion of that.
Tony, if you're buying them and they're pink, it'd be priceless.
if you're wearing them, that'd be priceless.
No, I already visually did that. Oh my god.
Hey, what's that? Whoa, what's these? They got some bayonets.
Everybody in the side chat, this is where we go off the rails, so you can check out now or you can hang out for the
I just got here.
I was just looking at the surplus is all, because we were talking about the surplus, and that's in the top. That's right near the top. I don't know.
You talking about internet searches or like they're in Vegas surplus?
No, I'm on eBay. I was just typing in. I just typed in a generic military surplus, and fucking that's like near the top.
Yeah, if it's on eBay, I automatically subtract $5.
Hey,
if you're bidding,
I tell you something. I tell you something I've been looking for, but they're freaking expensive. I bet HD's played one of them. It's a Surefire Hellfighter flashlight. You can mount them on a 50 caliber machine gun. Some of them come with a 50 cal mount. And
yeah, because everybody's got 50 cals. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what. I mean, they'll like burn your face from across the room, dude. If you turn them on somebody.
Oh Lord. Yeah, those
man, they're $1,000 for one of those.
Holy smokes, dude.
Yeah.
I want a couple of them damn the Army wool blankets. I want to get a couple of them, and they're charging out the ass for them motherfuckers now.
Just go get some of the gray Navy ones. They're just as good and less. People just pay more for the Green Army ones for some reason.
The fucking Hans is selling them things for like $75 a piece.
I was thinking about
Right.
checking out Hans here lately.
No way.
Look, Hans is the coolest surplus store fucking this side of the Mississippi. I swear, they got everything. But after the prepping thing took off, them motherfuckers lost their minds. And people still buy the shit that's in there. They got anything and everything you want in there, but you're going to fucking pay. You know what I mean?
I was actually thinking about going to check out Hans next week, man, and then drop by and see you. Nope, I was actually thinking about going into Hans. Yep.
Make sure you text me like that week or whatever, so I know what day I'm off if you're coming through. Because I'm gone. I'm gone all fucking day.
Hey, I'll tell you another good blanket that they're reasonable if you ain't got the real weird Israeli thing going on, but it's those IDF those IDF blankets. Man, those are killer. Linda bought me one at a yard sale or estate sale for $5.
They're wool, right?
Yes,
Which ones?
Wool.
Yeah,
they're Israeli wool blankets. They've got a stripe on them.
I love Israel, bro. I'm not fucking.
She got
gonna find no hating in my body.
You're a fan, huh? Is that right?
I'm a Zionist.
How would you get
cut a little bit? They're cut a little bit different than a regular because I put it with stacked it on top of a regular military blanket, and it's a little bit different size. Seems like it's a little bit narrower, but it's a little bit longer.
And they're gray too, aren't they?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And they got. I think if I remember right, it's either got 1 or 2 stripes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like down near the end, one end, maybe like the Israeli flag or something. I don't know. I'm not
like a dark stripe or some shit.
Dollar in that.
How good is this camo netting, man? They got this shit on everything, everywhere, and it's cheap.
Is it the military camo netting? Because if it is, it's some of that's radar scattering. It's like they put under those cover up 5-ton dump trucks and stuff with it.
Exactly. Woodland camo netting, 5 foot by 8 foot, 100% genuine military, and it's only $10.
That's good. That's pretty good camo, dude. I'm gonna tell you, if you got something that's got a little bit of brush around it, you can cover something up with that. And
yeah, they're selling it. It's like all over. Because I just, like I said, I typed in just generic military surplus, you know. I'm just seeing what they got. They got a lot of carrying stuff, like old gas mask bag stuff.
Yeah, they cut that stuff up. I think it was either Army or Marine Corps sniper school. I don't know who runs the sniper school. They were showing them building their ghillie suits and they were taking that stuff in that netting, but they said they had to get the little stainless steel or silver rings off of it.
Yeah.
Before they could utilize it.
Yeah, HD. They got those the Navy ones for $26 a piece.
Give them 20.
I don't know if it's bid. I've never bid on nothing on eBay. I've always just fucking looked for the one where you could just buy it outright. And
all right.
I haven't gotten around to it yet.
I have lowball people on eBay, really, really lowballed them and thinking, man, they won't take this, and they took it. And I'm like, I cannot believe he is not going to ship that. And then when you get it, bada bing, there it is. And it's like, dang, somebody was desperate. Make them an offer.
Jerry can $70. It's fucking expensive, man.
So what all did I miss the last 2 hours? Collapsitarians?
Everything.
Everything.
I missed that part. Yeah, you guys should rehash that because I missed that whole part.
Oh God.
I'll just rewind it and watch it.
No, we just talked about those Project Veritas videos coming out and the implications behind that, but really is that just skimming the fat off the top, you know, low hanging fruit, if you will.
Yeah.
and really, just highlighting that you can't turn this ship around just by picking off a few lowlifes. The whole thing has to fall apart before anything positive happens.
Yes, sir. They're dug in.
But it may scatter them. It may scatter them, and it may make them go undercover, and it may make them tighten their little groups up. But it's still, I think it's a good thing to turn the lights on the roaches, watch them run.
The communists plug in like ticks, man, in every facet.
That's what Saints was talking about. Have to pull them off like ticks on a hound.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But we're getting the Collapsitarian from a Twitter account that I follow, and I was just kind of sharing that mindset of this can't be fixed or repaired. It has to collapse before anything can change.
I agree.
Kind of better that way, though, too.
So we're hashtag Collapsitarians from now on.
That's the best way for things to happen, because I don't know how it'll turn out on the end, but just presumably, I guess, all the dicks that can't take care of themselves are going to be in trouble, obviously, So, I don't know what they're going to have to do to stay alive.
Well, they're the ones that are going to sell out to the government and do whatever the government tells them.
Yeah, to stay alive, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess there'll still be a government, but then it'll just be lawless fucking craziness outside of wherever the established government is said to be.
Well, it's we were saying earlier too, though, and Saints was saying too at the beginning, is it's not going to be total lawlessness, because people are going to set standards in their communities and expect there to be some law and order and enforce some of it themselves. It's just like all these disasters happen. And there's some looting and stuff, but it doesn't go total chaos, because people are going to take things in their own hands. And like Angel was saying, currently people are less likely to take things in their own hands because they're afraid the government's going to come and punish them.
That's exactly right.
Out of the picture, there's going to be a lot less people worried about getting repercussions and taking things in their own hands.
Think big. 320 million people. Imagine chaos. There's no way. There's just no.
Now that's what I was talking about the urban areas like around here. It's not going to be the Wild West. They'll put people down here on this bridge and like, you don't come through here running 90 miles an hour.
Right.
You're not going to run down through here with your rifle sticking out the car window now. And they'll stop you because they're wiping kids and families and farms and everything is right here. They're not going to have that. But there will be some Wild West like Chicago. Dude, it's already the Wild West. What's it going to be? Crazy. There'll be places where but not in the communities where people are families and stuff like that together, Plus, they've taken away a lot of people's means to resist,
Oh, yeah.
What are they going to do? Stand out there with a hammer and take on somebody with a...
Except for the resistors are resisting hard.
No,
nobody's going after the resistors.
Project Veritas videos. They're just exposing that these people are in the fucking open. They're in government positions and shit. It's just it needs to collapse. It's got to.
It's the safest way, I think, for us fuckers that are getting ready.
It's the safest for them. Think about that on a big scheme. You know what I mean? Like I said, 320 million people.
If they're trying to dump all their crimes, then or bury all their crimes, I guess, right?
Yeah. People in government and the rich and whatnot, they've been preparing for a long, long time to do the things that they've been doing. For people to go, it's out of control. No, they're in fucking control. Think about that. They know what they're doing. They know exactly.
They're all going to New Zealand.
Yeah, I heard about something like that. New Zealand. That kind of trips me out. An island.
You ask one of these you ask one of those little socialists about what they're, if you put that scenario to them, the answer you would get was, well, I have a friend that's got a farm in Colorado that we're going to go to. Sure you are. I'm sure you are.
If they can make it there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be the answer you would get. You know, there's no preparedness. No, well, I have a bug out bag with a, 5-gallon blah, blah, this, and I've got my car's range and I've got this much gas put up so I know I can go this far. You're not going to get the answer. You're going to get well, I have a friend that lives upstate that's got blah, blah, blah. No, you ain't got no plan.
Nuh-uh.
Janet and I have been looking at properties here quite a bit in the last couple of months. Like I said, everybody's, my dad, he lives in southern Missouri, and my sister lives in northern Arkansas. Now my brother's moving down there. Janet and I are like, yeah, we're just, Derek's done here in the next couple of months, and then him and his girlfriend are chomping at the bits to move out, do their own thing. We don't want to stay here anymore. So we'll be bugging out here soon, next year. If the housing,
that's where I'm at too. Like if you're from here or you fucking have your head out of your ass any type of way, you know what's coming in the next year or two here.
Yep. We're just hoping the prices hold for a while, because we've got a lot of equity.
Dude, if you can do it, it depends. To me, it depends when the Raiders get here. If the Raiders come out here next year, you know what I mean, and play in Sam Boyd, I mean, just the fact that they'll be here, it's going to be fucking ridiculous. In 2020, when they finish that stadium, it's going to be bananas. And then you cash out, Then you sell your shit like you're in California or some fucking dumb shit,
The comps in my neighborhood are right around, they hover right below 300,000. So if we can just keep that, if
what?
It just, yep.
That's how cheap they are? That's cheap.
That's cheap, yeah.
Vegas? You can't find a house in Reno with less than 300,000.
Yep. But this is crazy. This neighborhood shit. It went up in '87, and there was nothing around here. I mean, it was literally on the edge of town. About 20 years ago, when we bought the house, there was nothing but desert around us, and it's just blown up. So, and these aren't very big houses. They're not very big, but still, I mean, we paid $109 back in '95, and it's just we don't owe that much. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it ain't that much.
All right, no doubt.
So we're when it crashed here, it was bad. I mean, our houses, the values around here were like 60 and 80 grand. When they tanked out here. It was obscene. We were like, oh my God, we're going to be stuck here, But we held on to it, and now they're back up, like I said, in the $280,000, $300,000 range. And for what we can get down there, fuck, dude, I can walk into a freaking 4,000 square foot home, 15, 20 acres with a shop on it. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Just do it. Pay cash for a fucking place.
First place I bought up here in 2000 was 98,000.
Nice.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Now what the fuck is up there? Like fucking super expensive up there now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like I said, you can't go into Reno for under 300K.
Yeah.
Anything in anywhere near town.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come to Carson for less than 250. I don't think, even for like a 3-bedroom. 1,500 square feet place.
Wow.
It's not, I mean,
wow.
Small,
it's like California up there, huh?
Well, a lot of the California money gets dumped into here, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the smallest place you can really get as a standalone home is like 1,100 square feet, and it's going to be 250.
Yeah. I'm going to be seeing Lewis and JR here in the next year or so. I'll be taking a trip out to see them. Yep. Yeah, I'll be in that neck of the woods.
JR?
Nugs.
Oh, yeah?
Like JR. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking about?
Sir Nugs of Quasar White Trump.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, all I know is I've been looking, because like I said, I have to, if everything goes all right, I still gotta, work and come into the city. But where I'm looking up there, in Cedar is fucking dirt cheap, man. I mean, yeah, I'll be good if I can get something that's paying what I'm getting paid here up there, which I've already applied actually. So we'll see what happens if they call me up to go up. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, what if one of these places calls me and will match what I'm making here, and the price of living up there is like half, what do I do? Do I take off? Do I just already fucking go ahead and take off? Or, what I mean? I guess I got to see what happens, but.
You got to stay where the money is to build up that, that
No, I
age.
know, but if I'm making the same amount of money, if I can get something making the same amount of money as I'm making down here, and I don't have to pay the costs that I'm paying down here,
Right.
dude, I'm heading the right direction. Because it's out of control, dude. We're paying a lot, bro.
I have never ever used any of my VA benefits. Never, not once, none of them. So I'm like, now is like the perfect time. Here in the next year, like I said, buy a house. Why not? Be good to go.
A lot of people moving to Arkansas, Missouri, and that little, the inner workings of America.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Right.
I was subscribed to a channel, and that's their land channel, and all they're doing is they're slanging land over there in the Ozarks like super cheap.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're almost giving it away, man. I mean, that's cheap, dude.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you just want to buy just land, no, non-developed, just land. I mean, fuck, man, you can pick up a couple acres, up to 10 acres for under $5,000.
Well, you want to make sure it's undeveloped, because a lot of that land up there, you go try to buy it, and when you go, if you hadn't looked at it, the picture you see when you go up there, they've already pulpwooded it and cut every bit of the primo hardwood out of there. So look at it, and that's how you want to buy it, to make sure it don't cost. There's 2 or 3 people I've seen that bought land up there. Dude, they ain't got a tree on the place bigger than 6 or 8 inches because they clear cut all of it. You don't want that.
Yep. Yep. No, we've been looking like crazy. And my brother, man, God bless him. I mean, he's got a choice between 2 houses. He's hoping he gets the one. There's another one he's looking at. And the funny thing is, I was looking at that house, the second house he was looking at. It sits on 17 acres, and it's a big ass house. They want 305 for it. They'd probably take 280, 290 for it. And it's nice, man. And it ain't even that old. It's only like, what, 15 years old, something like that. Pretty big ass house, 4-bedroom, 3,800 square feet. Shit, why not? Let it fly. And it's out and about, you know what I mean? It's a good 12, 15 miles from town out there, Mountain Home, Arkansas. So, right near Norfolk.
Arkansas.
Yep.
You can hit up Casey while you're out there.
Janet says the only way she's doing it is if we're near those lakes and she can get a boat. And I said, all right. That's a fair trade right there.
Not Perfect one while you're out there.
What's that?
Hit up Not Perfect one while you're out there. He's out there.
Hey, you get out there, Mark. You work on them. You can work on those jet skis out there, because that ain't nothing but a motorcycle with a freaking outdrive on it.
Yeah. Yeah, a buddy of mine, he actually, him and his brother, they owned a shop doing that. He comes over and visits me every once in a while when he needs work done to his Harley. But yeah, him and his brother used to run a shop working on jet skis and shit, Sea-Doos. He's telling me about them. Now, if it's combustion engine, I'll work on it, man. I don't give a shit.
Sound like a confident young man right there, highly motivated.
Man, well, I'm actually going to be applying for my FFL as well, so see what happens.
Well, don't put me down for a reference.
A reference. Yeah. Shit. Yeah, my brother sold his shop, man, and everything he does is online now, and he's making pretty good cheese, man. Building from home. He says if he does 4 or 5 rifles a month, that's an extra $2,500 to him, you know, and that ain't nothing. So easy to do. You just got to know what to make, you know, what to build, and what people want to buy. And it's not that slow for them, so that's pretty good.
I can't buy nothing. I spend all my money on rice and beans.
Well, that's just it. She's gonna put her green thumb to work, man. If we get a piece of property, that's for sure. Keep her busy. Go from a florist to a farmer. Heck yeah, man.
That's similar, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all relative, right? Just on a bigger scale.
back in the beginning, you was either a hunter or a farmer.
That's it.
If you was gonna eat, you either had to be a hunter or a farmer.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Another thing that's a deciding factor for us in this, because we were thinking about just maybe staying around Vegas, moving the outskirts of Vegas, but her sister and my brother-in-law, they were talking about putting her mom in a home in the next couple of years, and there ain't no way that lady's got to move into a home. So, and nobody's going to take her and her sister. So I was like, well, hell, it'd be a win-win for us. And we'll take mom with us. Yep. So that's my Collapsitarian story for you.
Well, I've got some kinfolk in Kansas. I ain't seen any of them in years and years and years, but I reckon they've been up there all their life and they liked it, you know.
Kansas, you say?
Yeah. What do they call that? Mid-America?
Flatlands of America.
Yeah.
Tornado Alley.
Yeah, that's it right there.
I was up in Missouri for a spell. I didn't really like it. They didn't have too many pine trees up there. It's just all rocks and oak trees, man. Tear a uniform up, tear the knees and elbows out of them, everything else, man. They just don't last crawling
You need to
around
visit
in
out
the
here, Saint.
rocks. What's
Talking
that?
about Fort Leonard Wood?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's when my dad went to basic, man, in 1964. He went to Fort Leonard Wood.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yep. Now he's retired and lives out there. Not in Leonard Wood, but
And the wind blow up there like crazy, man. Come a rainstorm, bottom fall out, and then an hour look out there in the ground's got cracks in it.
yeah, they get ice storms and shit too. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I let my sister, she did a lot of the gauging for us down there. I mean, like I said, her and my brother-in-law, they own 13 acres down there. They've been living there for, about 3-4 years now. So, and they like it. It was nice visiting down there when I got to go down there. It was pretty nice where they're at. They live about 12, 13 miles outside of town. So nobody bothers them. It's nice and quiet. It's kind of eerie, you know, being in a place that's out and about, away from a city. You don't hear any fire engines. You don't hear any police cars. You don't hear nothing, you know. It's just quiet. I can hear my tinnitus, you know. I can hear my ears ringing. That's about it. How far outside of town you live, HD?
Not far enough.
Not far enough. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 12 miles from the nearest red light.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit closer than that to the nearest red light, but
That's a pretty nice little stream or river you were next to today.
that's the Carson River.
No kidding.
Like I was saying, that's in Carson City. you're in. Yeah.
Everybody's on their iPhones, hibernating.
Yeah, it was actually profound when you said, "Hey, nobody out here. You know, nobody's out here for lunch.
I
Nobody's
know.
out here for nothing." And I was like,
Yeah, it's like
profound.
great
You know?
day. Like it's like this big 20-acre area, but like there's nobody out there walking for lunch or nothing. Like seriously, people.
Too absorbed.
And it's like that almost every time. Huh?
They're too absorbed in the city life, in their work, in their jobs.
I guess it's scary because, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard just to jet over there for an hour, half-hour lunch or whatever you're doing, whatever you got.
Right.
Hey, I
And I guess there's other places that are more convenient, but it's not that far.
If you had your place little old 5, 6, 7 acres, something like that, and you get your property line laid out, that walk around that 5, 6, 7 acres, that's a pretty good little old walk. I mean that's time you get around that, you've made a pretty good little run.
Well, I got another one that's basically right down the road from the one I was gonna buy, and it's 8 acres, and it's listed for like 1,000 or I want to say 1,000 or 1,500 more than what the other one was listed for. So I'm gonna offer them what I offered for that 2.5 acres for the 8 acres, and they could tell me to go fly a kite or they'll fucking counter offer. But
there you go.
I'm gonna lowball the fuck out of these guys. You know what I mean? It's like 8 acres. So
that'd be a good little walk around it.
Nugs is talking about moving where Sasquatch lives. The Ozarks. Yep. That's exactly right. The Ozarks. You guys ever seen that show, Ozark? Anyone? Nobody?
No, don't watch a lot of TV.
It's on Netflix. Show called Ozark. Pretty interesting.
Maybe next year. Man, I just now got to watch Jericho. What are you talking about? Did I watch that?
Oh, you finally watched?
I missed Jericho, man. I finally got to watch it.
He's been bragging about watching Jericho for 2 weeks now.
Man, I feel like I'm underprepared till I watch that series.
Oh man, it'll make you think, right?
hey, that shit is like it hits home, right? You're like, wow. I don't know. That was a good one. I've watched that series like a couple times, and I binge watch it too. I watch that motherfucker like almost straight through.
That's the way I did it. That's the way I watched. I binge watched it in about 2 days.
Government split up and shit. Everybody's flying different American type flags and all kinds of stupid shit. Mm-hmm.
Well, the community stuck together a little bit, at least, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I imagine that's how to be. I mean, I've been in the little towns a lot lately, and I don't know. People seem pretty tight. It's funny because even when you go up there, I went up there with my pops last week, and he's like, "You don't have to lock your door." I was like, "Well, fuck no, I'm still gonna lock
Nice.
my door again.
The nice thing about small towns is the communists are really easy to spot. That's the nice thing about small towns.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, they're super nice up there though. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. People are way, way nice up there. So I imagine they stay civilized if shit hits the fan, you know?
My brother was telling me, because the town he lives in now is actually not that big. It's Woodland Park, Colorado. It's about 30 miles up a mountain east of Colorado Springs. And he was telling me the last few years since, everybody went fucking pot crazy and whatnot up there in Colorado, that it's changed a lot, and the influx of people. And he's just like, man, these fucking little he's like, they're fucking little communist liberals all over the fucking place now. I just can't stand it here anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, you don't live in that big of a town. He goes, but it's bad. He says, they're everywhere. I was like, damn, he just cannot wait to get out of there. So, yeah. Just makes them easier to spot the smaller the town.
Little towns are expensive though. That's what I noticed. Every little thing that's got in costs like $1 or $2 more than it does in town.
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason
do you pay the extra cost and get the stuff you need, in town, or do you go out of town and hit Wally World and then drive back?
Yeah.
Buy in bulk. Buy in bulk.
Yep.
So don't try to do your grocery shopping in your local grocery store, your little town grocery store.
Now, a little town grocery store, they're going to be higher, just like they are here. But the convenience stores is what you must avoid. I mean, dude, you go in there, you can't walk out without, just blew $30 or whatever.
Yeah, and stupid shit. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So avoid at all costs.
That one town we were near that I did the video on, I still got to upload a couple more videos, but their main store more or less was that Family Dollar. Like, that's where you got pretty much everything from, was that Family Dollar. There was some gas stations.
Yeah, it's Dollar General around here. Every 15 miles, there's a Dollar General.
The Dollar Generals are all over in the South, dude. They are all over the place, man.
I think that's what was that? Family Dollar. That was Family Dollar we were in front of.
Yeah, those Dollar Generals, man. I mean, even in a rinky-dink, itty-bitty little freaking town in southern Missouri, there's a Dollar General there. I was like, damn, dude, they are everywhere.
Florida the Rafters with shit in that store. Like, they're overstocked more than your regular Family Dollar that's, say, like here in Vegas. Them motherfuckers had everything in there, huh, DJ?
Nugs is saying the Walmart.
Yeah, they're trying to be like the 7-Eleven.
Nugs is saying if shit hits the fan, the Walmarts will be all packed up and shipped out in a week before shit hits the fan.
Yeah, if they know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Like the hurricane. That's what we need here in Vegas. We need a hurricane to just wash everybody away.
No, we don't. Not until after.
Or like a 100-year flash flood type deal. That's what we need here. We need to listen to some Tool and let it all wash away, bro. Fuck this city. This city's a shit pit now.
There you go.
Doug says if I come down there, I'm gonna need to go squatch hunting with him. I'm not going out to look for some fucking ape man in the middle of the fucking woods. You forget that shit. Nope. No. Mm-mm.
It's better than snipe hunting, right?
Snipe hunting. Oh God. Oh shit. I haven't heard that in a long time. Snipe hunting.
Right.
Mhm.
Quasar may not know about snipe hunting. Might have to school him up.
Wow. I'm just reading the chat out here.
What's Quasar's pretty much the only lone survivor.
Oh, you got Truth Freeze out there.
Truth Priest out there.
Yeah, the Saints out there. Veritas Files is out there. ZPD was out there a little while ago.
Yeah, ZPD's been in. Well, you guys are about ready to shut this thing down.
Hey, you actually caught me on.
Before the
You actually
Collapsitarians.
Well, you caught me on a night where I'm actually off work, so I don't got no bedtime right now.
Oh yeah, you're just ready to go to work right now, aren't you?
Shit, I'm
Right.
Oh.
Snipe hunting for the
Are you still working nights?
Nah, well, we switch every month, so I just switch back to days. So I'm all fucked up. My schedule's
Okay.
all
We'll
all
give you a
fucked up.
chance to get back on routine then. Give you a chance to get on routine and sleep during the night like you're supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, that's incentive to get a different job though too. You know, I want to be able to work something to where I can handle what I got to handle out at the homestead, but I want to go to bed when the fucking sun goes down. I want to get up when the sun comes up. I want to get all natural and shit. So, got to work on that. It's gonna be big next. Yeah, dude. Next year is gonna be a big year.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh man, I've got a busy weekend. I've got an R1 and a Suzuki 650 coming in. Damn.
I don't make plans for the
real work,
man.
What's that?
I don't make plans for the winter. I just let the winter time is like maybe try to make some money and put some money away, but I don't got no plans for the winter. It's gonna be even colder up there, so I think it's gonna be a cold winter, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be a cold winter for us, anyways. I don't know about the rest of the world. I just know us.
Nugs, by the way, you don't find the Sam Squatches, they find you. God, I hope not.
Sam Squatches.
You going on in the morning, HD, or what? Or is you as tomorrow your off day?
Yeah, it's planned. I think so. If anybody shows up. Yeah, we'll be back on in the morning.
So you said you got hit with a whole bunch more dealies after the new wave of YouTube things came out, YouTube restrictions. Because I went through and I looked.
Wasn't better. No, what I'm talking about. You're talking about another algorithm or search algorithm has changed because I got a bunch of hits on a bunch of old videos. Like I had all this watch time or something on a couple videos. It was out of the blue. That's what I was talking about. It wasn't nothing bad necessarily, just kind of weird.
I looked at all my same ones.
He's getting some choice comments on his older videos.
Super choice.
Yeah.
What was it? Show your face, you wussy.
Oh man.
What was it?
Yeah, something like that. You pansy.
Pansy, that's what it was.
I just got one today too. I got the choice one today too that said America will never see SHTF. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Dude was Captain Obvious. That's some
Imagine
fun.
Imagine if we just stay in this purgatory forever, though. You know, imagine we just stay right here forever. We
That'd
just
be
stay
pretty
on
brutal.
here. 20 years from now, we're still on the same platform. We only got a couple videos because we've been algorithm to death. We can't do nothing.
Shit, I've been ready to write YouTube off for forever now, man. The only thing that keeps me even paying attention to YouTube is you guys. That's it, man. Other than that, oh, fuck.
They'll have lip readers, is what they'll have. Google will have lip readers by then, and then we'll all be in trouble.
What's that chick's name that she's the CEO of YouTube?
That fucking Wazowski whore.
Dude, I hope she gets like a bad butthole cancer and she rots out. I really do, man. I just, oh God. Ugh.
Oh,
There's a chick that runs YouTube.
You put her in a concentration camp.
before they're done, dude, you'll have to do a retina scan to log into YouTube where they'll know it's you. Yeah, that was you.
Yep.
Please place your face in the scanner.
Nug says when you type in "shit hits the fan" in YouTube, HD's videos are the first ones that come up.
Oh. That's not possible.
Oh yes, oh yes.
I think that's just because he's searching.
The first one that comes up is Canadian Prepper. Then the Prepared Mind is the second one.
He's still on
Such is
YouTube?
like,
Yeah, that's
Such
pretty
is
much it
like
right there.
the fourth.
I didn't think the Prepared Mind did YouTube.
Yeah, Prepared Mind drops a video like once a week now.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
drops
was only doing,
like once a week now. He drops a.
yeah, I thought he was only doing his own.
Yeah, he did the Patreon thing for a while.
Yeah.
Such has one pretty high up. HD's got one like the 15th or 20th in the search.
Hmm.
The only reason it comes up for you guys is because you're sub to me. That's the only reason it even shows up. If you were if it was a non-subscriber, it wouldn't show up. I guarantee.
More algorithm shit. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Debcad. What's his name? Carl? I forget his name.
Carl?
Demcad?
Fucking yeah, Demcad's name. I forgot.
Reginald.
His name? Reginald.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My name is Reginald, better known as Demcad.
The Prepared Mind
forever.
But I bet you. Let me see if I can filter it by
HD, you need to go over and have a beer with Prepared Mind. I hooked you up.
I haven't been that far north in a long time.
Plus, it's California.
I haven't been to California. Yeah, I haven't been to California in a long time. I'd have to break one of those streaks.
Man, that'd be creepy going into a place where you're not allowed to be. You're totally disarmed. You're vulnerable to the world. Makes you make,
Yeah.
make me kind of
Well,
break
if you're on the eastern side of Sierra, you kind of.
Man.
Desert
If you're on the
Sun.
eastern side of Sierra, you can kind of get away with it.
Desert Sun 02 as the highest SHTF video. I've never heard of Desert Sun 02, but he's got 4.8 million views on his shit hit the fan air heater. It's a lot of fucking views for a video.
What's it called?
The Desert Sun 02. So all one word. Such is number 2 at 2.2 million with 10 reasons for a 22 LR firearm. Shit hits a fan.
Desert Sun what? 02.
02. The number 02.
150,000 subscribers, 234 videos.
Patriot Nurse is in there pretty high up. All these other channels I've never even heard of, though. I've heard of Sensible Prepper, I've heard of Patriot Nurse, Such, Everybody else is like channels I've never heard of. Prepared Minds
Right.
got a lot
Yeah, there's
of
tons of channels up there still.
Look, I'm gonna have to resub to the Prepared Mind. How that old devil dog's doing?
Yeah. Well, hey, Bikes, start us off getting out of here. Give us some shout outs or something.
Hang on, I'm typing. Okay, here we go. All right.
homemade air conditioning, 5-gallon bucket. Wow. I'm
So
gonna
how's this
try
work? Last in, first out? Okay.
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
All right, then.
that. Pretty cool. What is
Yeah,
it?
that
Ice in the
5-gallon
bucket?
bucket air conditioning thing's been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We put dry ice in there?
Yeah, just make it
or
like a
ice?
swamp cooler. You got water in there.
Put
Just water, make
in
it like
there?
a swamp cooler. Yeah.
So what about ice water? Even better?
I'm sure that would make it twice as cool. Yeah.
That's badass. I think I've seen something like that before, but I mean, I'm looking at the Desert Sun's channel is what I just saw it. So he's got a cooler one too, like a bit like a igloo cooler, like a long blue one
Right.
Yeah.
with like a fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, those videos have been around for years. All right, Bikes,
cool.
start us checking out here.
All right, I'm out. Thanks for having me. That's it. That's all I got for you.
That's your parting words. All right, that's cool.
Keep it simple, right?
Hey, Saints, you're up. Yeah,
Thanks for
there you go.
that.
Kiss.
Enjoyed it. It was educational. Hope it wasn't too depressing. Don't shoot up all your ammo. Don't eat your preps up. They may be a surprise in the future.
Yeah, we gonna need to put somebody on suicide watch from tonight. No, somebody that's not a collapsitarian, realizing they should be.
Yeah, if you just woke up today, today, you may be a little behind the curve.
Hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah, if you just figured out collapsitarian today, you're way behind. All right, Tony, what you got?
Check out my other channel, Tactical Polygamist 702.
Is that the one where you shave your eyebrows and wear lipstick? That's the one where you shave your eyebrows and wear lipstick, isn't it? Come on, tell me the truth.
That's where them army bras were going. Them army sports bras were going there on that channel.
Exactly.
Tactical.
That's where my 8 wives do my videos for me. I'm not even in them. I just get the producing credit.
Oh God. Oh man. Oh, the visuals, man. The visuals. They're just they're sad. They're sad.
Coming to a theater near you. Yeah, peace. Shout out to HT for the link. Oh my God.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
All right. Heck yeah. Has that a new hashtag? Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Next chat. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Good stuff. Glad
thanks everybody for showing up. Good stuff out of the side chat. Good discussion internally. We still got Truth Freeze, Quasars, the Saint hanging with us here at the end. Thanks for hanging with us. And there's some people out there lurking too, probably. But find out if you're a collapsitarian or not. You might want to find out which side you're on before it's too late. But you got links in the description box below to a lot of that. And just come back and check us next time. We got morning chat in the morning and probably have something going on Saturday. So we'll see you all later, YouTube. Live free.